Blog Talk Radio.
Hello, this is Roman Gabriel, and you are listening to the Hello, this is Roman Gabriel, and you are listening to the Grueling Truth.
Hey, welcome to the Grueling Truth Live NFL Draft Show, brought to you by Gridiron Mo. Gridiron Mo is an interactive football app where you get to call what you think the offense or defense should do during a live NFL game and see what all other fans have called also. So check out Gridiron Mo at www.gridironmo.com. I'm your host for the NFL Draft Show, Mike Goodpaster. I want to welcome in, as always, my trusty co-host, Matt Andruscavage.
Thanks, Mike. Good to be here. Very excited about the draft and the guests that we're going to have on tonight.
Yeah, it's the one day of the year where 49er fans can have a little bit of hope. All right, now I want to also welcome in our special guest, Oakland Raiders Center All-Pro, Barret Robbins. How you doing, Barret?
Hey, good, Mike. How are you guys?
Oh, we're always doing good. And we also have one more that just jumped on. Let me introduce. He's actually did some draft preview shows with me on the Grueling Truth, Mike Cannon.
Gentlemen, how are we doing tonight? Is everybody excited?
Oh, yeah.
But Matt is, because he's a Niners fan, and like I said, it's the only time of the year he gets to be excited. So,
well you're a dead man walking too, Mike.
Whatever, Matt. But, all right, so when there is a pick, whenever a pick is getting ready to be made, Matt will interrupt and let us know what's going on. Make sure you check out thegruelingtruth.net. You can hear the show on that tonight, too. Matt, you got the call-in number?
The call-in number, I don't have it on me. I got to go
I was just
downstairs and get
testing you.
mine.
You're unprepared because you're a 49ers fan. The call-in number, if you guys want to call in and talk to Barret, myself, Matt, Mike, call-in number is 323-870-4618. So, looks like the first pick is coming up here in the next 10 to 15 minutes. We'll start off with Matt. Matt, what do you think? Carson Wentz, Jared Goff, or do you think somebody could surprise somebody here?
Well, anything's possible, but I think most likely it's going to be Jared Goff. The Rams were the first team to make the big trade to get that number one pick away from Tennessee. From everything that I'm hearing and reading, it looks like they're really sold on Jared Goff. Every mock draft says 99.9% sure it's Jared Goff. It just looks like they're really sold on him, and he would be probably – they must view him as an upgrade. I don't know why he'd go to number one and not draft a quarterback, first of all, but I got to believe it's Jared Goff.
All right, Barret, do you think Wentz or Goff, and which one do you think has the bigger upside in the NFL?
You know, that's always tough to say at this point. I think they both have a lot of upside. You know, with their physical stature. I think they're both big guys, big quarterbacks. You know, and it's I think that had a lot to do with the trades going on, because the physical nature of the quarterback position. You got a guy that can stand up to the abuse, then you're more likely to have a quarterback more of the season. You know, so I think they're both really good picks. I like the big guy from North Dakota. I don't think watching some film today, he's a lot more mobile than you would think as far as being that size. So I think they're both really, really solid picks, and I think that's why, the quarterback position being as important as it is in the NFL, I think that's, pretty much why both teams have done what they have done to be in those spots.
Yeah, about the only knock I hear on Goff is people think his arm strength may not be great, but it is strong enough to make all the throws. And then, of course, his hand size, I guess, is supposed to be small for a quarterback. Do you think that comes into play at all, Barret?
It can in bad weather games, but at the same time, you can throw a glove on there. I don't think it's near the problem. When you're getting down to stuff like that, I think you're splitting hairs. But some teams are going to look at things different. But I don't think that's going to have anything to do with him not making it in the future.
Now, one more question for you, Barret. As a center, do you prefer a guy with smaller hands?
I'm going to pass on that question, Mike.
Is it more comfortable that way?
That's
better than the old high school jokes, I guess. That's all I can say.
Well, I can't believe nobody's asked it yet. It just popped into my head because that's just the way I am. But you can ask anybody, too. You never know what's going on in my head. Mike Cannon, I know you were a guy that told me like 20 minutes ago that you think that the two quarterbacks will not go 1-2. You want to explain?
Well, I kind of got to think about today, and, of course, you and I spent a lot of time on some preview shows. Please listen to see how bad we picked in review. But here's my thought. There's been a lot of media in the last week. There's a lot of money paid to Sam Bradford, and it's money that's going to be paid. I'm of the opinion, and I'm willing to stick it out there right now, that I think it's either Stanley or Tunsil that's going to go number 2 to Philly. They have a need to fill. We talked about that, Mike. I think it's in the cards. They've got a quarterback they paid a lot of money to. If you protect him, he can play. And the only knock on Bradford's been he can't finish the season because he's getting killed. What do you guys think?
Well, I think the knock on Bradford is he's a front runner as a quarterback. When things are going great, he plays well. But when things start to go wrong, he kind of folds up under the pressure. Matt?
Yeah, anytime you don't want to be a front runner quarterback, and I have read that he doesn't have a ton of arm strength, but the other thing says that he's really smart. I don't know. I'm not real big on really any of these quarterbacks, but from Goff appears to be the best one.
Well, what do you think, Barrett? Which one do you think better?
Well, honestly, I mean, what a knee-jerk reaction that would turn out to be for Bradford to have kind of played his cards how he has, because, as it stands, and, I don't think he's got much support in the locker room after his actions, and it's kind of, how he's played this whole situation. So if they weren't going to pick a quarterback, I'm pretty sure now they will.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't see, Mike, how after the way Bradford's acted, that he can come back to that locker room and be a leader.
I don't see it either.
Yeah, he's gone. Bradford's definitely going to be gone.
What do you think? Do you think takes the hit on the cap? And my question would be, gentlemen, before we get going here, I know we're about 5 minutes away, why would you spend that kind of money just to cut a guy and get rid of him and give away a lot of picks? It doesn't make a lot of sense. Why would you spend that much money and give away a lot of picks when you didn't have to?
Barrett?
Well, but this trade didn't make sense at all.
Well, no, I have. It's the first time I even thought about that, to be honest with you, Mike. And quite frankly, that could happen. This whole thing is really, really crazy. I just, to me, I don't feel like, even if they did give, I feel like they gave him the money to in some way be something and be somewhat competitive in the next couple of years while another quarterback is being groomed. And I think that makes more sense right now. I don't really know their personnel good enough. I know they've lost quite a bit in the last couple of years, but it's true. They also did lose a lot with the trade. So we'll see. That's the beauty of today.
Yeah, and there's always something that happens that you don't see coming. Usually multiple things. Do you think there's anybody that could trade? I could see Cleveland trading out of the 8th spot even.
Very likely.
Who's going to
have a number of teams that?
I love the conversation of they're going to trade out of a spot. Who's going to come up and give up value? That is the one thing in the discussion. Who's coming up? So, Mike, who would you say if Cleveland's moving down?
I think a lot of that has to do with who is going to be there. I mean, you might have a Miles Jack slip to like a 7 or 8, and you might have a team, that's picking a little bit lower that would really like Miles Jack, and Cleveland can take advantage of that also.
Well, Cleveland has had so many issues with the quarterback position. They're certainly not putting all their hopes on RG3. That's something that there's a couple other really good quarterbacks in this draft, which aren't being talked about near as much because they're not the first 2 picks. But there's some other good-sized guys, good guys that have, 3 other ones that I can think of that might be an option and might even go, because of the value of the quarterback in this draft, might even go higher than expected. So I don't know.
Yeah, I think Paxton Lynch is the best quarterback in the class.
I really like him. Yes, I like him. I agree. I can somewhat agree with that. I think he's a very good. I like his personality. That's something that really took me over. Seeing him on TV, that goes a long way in the locker room, you know. So he's got some a lot of physical talent too. So I definitely see that could be a good pick for somebody.
Mike, your opinion on Paxton Lynch?
I like him. I mean, I think his thing is he's kind of a Johnny-come-lately. We've been really focusing on 1 and 2. I really think, and you guys have got the connection here. You've got Hugh Jackson. He has a specific quarterback he likes, and he fits that. But I do think the kid out of Michigan State would definitely work in the second round. And just like their competitor in North did, they can get a fantastic day one starter at wide receiver. They can get their quarterback, pair them up from the beginning, and they can do a lot of damage, and they can grow together immediately. We've seen this happen in the NFL, so there's a formula. So you could go, you could go Michigan State quarterback. You can get Paxton Lynch, and like I said in the show, there's still going to be some good wide receivers in the second round. And Cleveland has a lot of picks to play with, so they can make small moves. They don't have to move up or down, 9, 10 picks or move back. But I agree, Paxton Lynch can play, but can he play immediately? That's the only thing I don't know about him.
Yeah, well, he can, and I mean most NFL quarterbacks can. But the thing is this: 2 or 3 years from now, I think you got a really good quarterback. We got a caller on the line.
Unmuted.
All right, who are we talking to? Where are you from? Hello?
Hello? Because I'm on the panel. Hey, Matt.
Well.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, man? It's Dex.
Hey, what's up, Dexter?
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, you got a really bad echo on your phone.
We got an echo, or I don't know if you got it up on your computer.
Hey, it's better.
Yeah, we got the echo's gone. Are you there, Dexter?
Yeah, I'm here. Hey, I heard you guys.
All right, guys, help us welcome Super Bowl 29. Was it 29 champion Dexter Carter from the San Francisco 49ers.
Hey guys, what's happening?
Hey, Dexter.
Dexter, you got an opinion on the first pick? You think it's going to be Goff or Wentz?
You know what? I'm going to hold off on who I think is going to be, but I'm going to tell you who I think may be the best of them all when everything's said and done. History and what people have done in the past usually is a good indication of what can happen. I'm telling you, that kid from Michigan State, he's a winner. He knows how to win. He's a leader. And I'm telling you, whoever gets him is going to get a steal. I like him.
What do you think, Matt?
Well, who's the guy from Michigan State? I don't remember.
Connor Cook.
Connor Cook. Okay. I'm like, man.
Yeah, and not
I don't remember all the schools. Connor Cook was rated pretty high. It sounds like he slipped a little bit in the ratings, but there's a lot of guys that are really high on him.
Yeah, he did slip a little bit, and I don't know why, but you know what? Sometimes people don't test the best that they can, but I know at the end of the day, I go on what you've done, over the course of the body of work you put in, and that kid there knows how to win. So the other guys, I think they're going to be good pros. And go ahead.
Hello,
You there, Dexter?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Hold on. Can you guys hear me better now? Because I had you on speaker. I apologize for that.
Yeah, you're fine. My only problem with Connor Cook is the 56% pass completion, and the fact that when he played the Oregons and the Ohio States, he was not – I mean, he was overwhelming against mediocre opponents, but against the better teams they played – I mean, he was great against Rutgers, but when you look at him against Oregon, you look at him against Ohio State, I mean, he did not produce as well against good teams.
Yeah, and you know what? And that's why I can't argue with anybody that is against it. I just, from what I saw, those couple of teams you played, he didn't have the best outing, but, I look at the nuances of his game, and I think when somebody gets him and are able to work with him and fine-tune his skills, I believe they go along with his leadership. A lot of people early on would call him a manager of the game, but at the end of the day, I think he knows how to win.
All right. I will disagree respectfully on that one. There's something about the kid. When I watch him play, he's not real accurate. I don't think he's got the greatest feet in the world when he gets back in the pocket. I don't think his pocket presence is as good as the three guys that we've already talked about, Goff, Wentz, and Paxton Lynch. What do you think, Barrett?
Yeah.
We got the first pick coming up here, Matt.
Yeah. It is the pick is in, but we haven't announced it yet.
Okay. Hey, and right before the pick comes in, what bothers me about those other two guys was interesting. Nobody heard anything about these guys. One, look at the level of competition, just being real about it. And then nobody, up until the middle of the season, nobody heard about them. I'm just saying, some people test real well, some people throw on air really well. But at the end of the day, I still think they're going to have a chance because I don't rule anybody out. I don't want to take anything away from talent evaluators. But at the end of the day, there's been a lot of talent evaluators that have missed. Heck, a lot of them said about me. But, whenever the back-to-back Super Bowl champions pick somebody, I think, you got to give them a little credit. And I think 7 years of body of work, good, bad, and the ugly, I think counts for itself. But nonetheless, I like all of them. I just hate them coming out of nowhere.
Right.
To be the first pick overall.
That's
just something.
Hi, this is Barrett. Dexter, how you doing?
Good. What's up?
Hey, how you doing? Yeah, I think we can all agree that we evaluate quarterbacks on a different level. You know what I'm saying, as far as looking at, every little thing, and I think that has a lot to do with the position. Plus, you look at all the attention they're getting from just being the first two picks. I think Lynch is up there with the first two. I do believe he's as good as the other two, but there's also two other guys that I think can be real winners in this league. There's not just one way you can win at that position. There's a lot of ways you can win at that position. So I think they can all be successful, but to the point is, how successful are they going to be? Are they really worth the 1 and 2 pick? Well, somebody is, so somebody's got to be. Like I said, I do like Connor. He's definitely a hell of a competitor and played at a big school and has played against the best competition, in the country. So you can't take anything from him on that. But we'll see.
All right, real quick. The first pick was in. It's Jared Goff from California. Yeah, Jared Goff from California. So that leaves Philadelphia up now. We've got a caller on the line. All right, caller, you want to state your name and where you're from?
This is Aaron.
You there?
From Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Hey, how you doing, Aaron?
Good. How you doing, Mike?
All right. So what do you think about Jared Goff?
I think he's the safest bet. The Rams moving to L.A., trying to make an impact. They traded up, obviously, to get this pick for a reason. I don't think he'll be the next Peyton Manning or the next, top number 1 pick. I think he'll be a middle-of-the-road type guy.
All right, so what's your opinion? Do you think Philadelphia goes with Carson Wentz? Because we actually have one person on here that believes they won't. And we're about to see if he's right or wrong. And we'll have to mute him the rest of the night.
Yeah, we got about 5 minutes on that one.
Yeah. So
I don't think
my problem with Carson Wentz is this. He played at an FCS school that the 3 years, his freshman, sophomore, junior year, won a national championship with him not at quarterback. And then they went 7-0 last year when he was injured. So, you're going on a real small body of work against competition that's not what Goff faced, not what Cook faced, not what Lynch faced. What's your opinion on that?
I think Lynch is actually going to be the best quarterback of this draft. And Philadelphia moving up, I think they were sold on, Bradford demanding a trade. They want either Goff or Wentz. Obviously, that's why they traded up. I think they'd be crazy not to.
Yeah, but Dexter, do you want a quarterback whose biggest game was against Kansas?
You know what? You have an excellent point there. Couple of points. One, as I said, I really like Cook. Okay, Philadelphia is definitely going with the quarterback. They moved up for a singular purpose to get a quarterback. They understood one of them was going to be gone, and they're going to get the other one, and it's not the one that I was talking about. So I think they're going to get Lynch. But I tell you, I did watch probably, like everybody else, John Gruden and how he works the guys out. And I'm going to tell you, once I look back at film of Goff, I'm being honest, although I love Cook, and I think his potential is unlimited, I actually had a thought. Y'all gonna call me crazy. Matt, you're gonna probably call me crazy. I honestly thought that the Cal Goff dude, I thought the 49ers, if they moved up and got him, I would not have complained a bit. I'm just being honest. I know it's silly and it's kind of crazy, but that kid there, I saw him make plays. Every pass he threw, he was getting killed. And he still stayed in that pocket and threw perfect balls. That kid there, with a little work, I'm going to tell you what, I think L.A. made a good move, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I think this is a lot better quarterback draft than what we had last year. I mean, I even like Dak Prescott from Mississippi State.
Yes, you're right. Yeah.
I picked Eagles, guys. Let's do it here. Sorry to interrupt, guys.
They're waiting for Roger Goodell to waddle his dumb ass up there. I don't like Roger
Goodell. Oh, I'm sorry. I was thinking about the old one. I thought you said the old, I forgot his name.
Pete Rozelle?
Crazy. Yeah, I swear I thought I heard Pete Rozelle. I'm like, what?
Yeah. I hear things all the time, too, Dexter. Don't worry about it.
Hey, man, I'm going to blame that one on the concussions, all right?
All right, so Mike Cannon, his reputation's on the line here. He said they'll pick an offensive lineman.
Okay. This won't be on my reputation. Hey, Dexter, I had a question for you. I know everybody wants a quarterback. In taking a look at the Niners, they did nothing in free agency to really bolster their team. And you're saying, hey, let's trade and get a bunch of picks and move up. Do they get that much better by getting a quarterback, or do they need to get the locker room right? Do they need to get more talent? And do they need to get this long-term thing, quarterback up immediately?
No, I don't think they need to get a quarterback immediately. I just thought Goff would have been a good pick for them. Hometown kid, does well, in my opinion. I think he would have, but, they've got to get that front office straight, to probably have success anyway. But, I think they have got to do other things other than quarterback to get that team back where it needs to be. Mm-hmm.
All right, Matt, the pick
in. Carson Wentz has been picked by the Eagles.
Which means Mike Cannon was completely wrong. All right.
Nobody's sticking up at me. So.
All right, pick number 3 would be the San Diego Chargers. What do you think, Barrett?
Oh, I think it's about to get good. It's who knows? I think that one of those tackles will probably go.
Who now?
Big unknown.
Yeah, to me, I think this is between DeForest Buckner, Jalen Ramsey, and Lermay Tunsil.
Yeah, I don't know what Canada's got at tackle, but tackle is pretty much one of the premium spots out there. So
they really need all
to
three
me,
of those
Tunsil's
guys.
the one guy here that I think could start right away and be a dominant player. What do you think, Mike Cannon?
I'm going to agree, and I know you and I have talked on the draft show and in phone conversations. Stanley's been moving up. I know you've got questions about his heart. He is better against, if you put him together run and pass, he's a little bit better. So this is a crapshoot right here, and it's really just moving up and down the boards, but it could go either way. Tunsil, Stanley, I'm okay either way. Barrett, you would know better than anybody else. Picking between the two, which way would you go right now?
Is Tunsil the kid from Ole Miss? Mississippi, yes. I do think he's probably the guy. Looking at the two, but the truth is with that is, both of these guys are going to go very high, and they're not going to know until the first day of physical contact whether they belong in this league. The level of physicality and play that going from college to the NFL, you just can't do that in the combine. You know what I mean? So, I think they're both solid picks, but I think Tunsil is a little more athletic in my eyes.
All right, what do you think, Matt?
Well, it looks like the Chargers really need a defensive back with Weddle leaving. Jalen Ramsey has been really the favorite for a long time, and now recently you see a lot more talk about them needing a tackle, or especially this week there's talk about them picking DeForest Buckner. I personally think they'll go Ramsey, but any of these, if they get Tunsil or Buckner, all three of those guys really fill a need for the Chargers.
I agree with that.
Well, guys,
Aaron, what do you think?
I think they go Tunsil. I think their biggest need is the offensive line. They gave up a lot of hits on Phillip Rivers last year. You can't go wrong when you know your quarterback's the guy of your franchise, and you don't need a quarterback. So the first two picks didn't hurt them, so they're really the number one pick on the board. Whoever they had at number one on their draft board is who they need to go with. If it was Tunsil, Ramsey, or who knows, it may be Joey Bosa.
Yeah, I think it's going to be. I wouldn't be shocked if it wasn't Tunsil at tackle, but I think Ramsey is going to be a can't miss. And putting him opposite of the kid they picked out of TCU last year, I think will be a perfect pair.
But Tunsil,
what was his name?
Go ahead, Dexter.
Yeah. I couldn't remember his name, but it starts with V. The corner.
Yeah, I know you're talking about
TCU
too. Matt,
last year.
Yeah, I can't remember his name either. All of a sudden.
Yeah, and he's going to be a good player. And so I think any of those teams that pick Ramsey, which he's not going to last surely not past 7. I'll be shocked if he'll get past the next 1 or 2 picks.
Yeah, I think he's going to go pretty quick here, one way or the other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But, and for me, I think Tunsil's the better of the offensive tackles. I mean, he's huge, number one. But the one thing I always look at with offensive linemen is whether they have a natural knee bend or not. He does. He's very quick. His agility's off the charts. And, I mean, the thing is, he has room to improve because I think he can actually add some weight, more power and strength. But I like him a little bit more than Stanley. That, and I think he plays with great leverage. With Stanley, I think plays a little bit high. Barrett, what do you think?
We're talking about the tackles now. Who are we talking about right now, Mike?
Tunsil, just who you think the best tackle is.
To be honest with you, I haven't done the study. I'm an offensive lineman, so I'm not going to, I know Ramsey and Tunsil are both very, very good tackles. I haven't done if I'm going to tell you who's better than who, then I'm going to have done my homework and seen film. I haven't done that. So at this point, they're basically highlight films to me. So that's not where you get. Well,
Barrett, I gave you a good 3 hours notice on this.
Well, to be honest with
that's
you,
more than he gives most people, Barrett.
I think they should go with Bosa because to me, he's a dominant defensive lineman. You can't go wrong with that.
I think Bosa's overrated.
Well, yeah, I think he's probably going to have a 10-year career at least.
I think he's overrated at that pick. And, I mean, my reason for that is if you watch him his sophomore year, I think he was better his sophomore year than he is now. I mean, he was better his sophomore year than he was his junior year, and he was better his sophomore year than he was his senior year. And there are a lot of questions about him. I mean, he had to miss some games last year because he had to miss the season opener because he got in a little bit of trouble. And
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if the DB from Florida State goes either, because he seemed to be one of the better
Jalen Ramsey.
I've seen. Yeah, I'm saying you look at if you can make your back end stronger. The name of the game right now is being able to stop an offense as much as offense is going on in the league right now. He just stood out to me big time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, the pick is in.
And then we got the Dallas Cowboys right after that. The pick is in. The Cowboys are always exciting. With Jerry Jones, you never have a clue what he's going to do.
And that's not on Twitter yet. They haven't announced it on ESPN yet.
Yeah, if Bosa doesn't get picked on the pick.
Your lunch in there? I put it in the dry machine.
Do what?
Thank you.
Joey Bosa.
Oh, Bosa.
Joey Bosa. Wow, that's a surprise. Joey Bosa's been picked by the Chargers.
Woo!
That's
interesting.
Dexter, that means I think that means the Niners are going to get DeForest Buckner.
That's what it looks like, huh?
Yep, that's my hope.
Does everyone agree that now Jera is looking at Elliott out of Ohio State? Is that a lock?
I think you're right. Very possible.
Jerry Jones? Well, you still got Jalen Ramsey there, too.
Yeah. Wait. Now, Dallas is next, right?
Yeah, Dallas is next.
You know what?
I think you go Ramsey or Elliott.
I tell you what.
Yeah, it's Ramsey or Elliott for sure.
I love to say Ramsey, but Dallas, Dallas needs a runner.
Yeah, they do.
And
yeah,
I agree.
They need a runner. And y'all talking Elliott, and I love him. But man, for a kid to carry the ball like Derrick Henry and be as healthy as he is, and and run downhill like they like their backs to run. Oh man, I tell you what, I think it could be Elliott or Henry.
All right, guys, real quick, we got a caller on the line that I just noticed has been on hold for 11 minutes. So, caller, who are we talking to?
This is Alex Gray from Northern Kentucky. How you doing?
All right, how you doing, Alex? What do you think of the draft so far?
Hey, Alex.
Hey, how you doing? Well, I'm kind of surprised with Bosa going to San Diego, but he's a really good defensive end. Goff and Wentz, not surprising there. I will say this. The Rams and the Eagles sure made huge risks trading a lot of picks for a quarterback. Let's face it, though. They do need quarterbacks. But, both teams, if you think you can make the playoffs this year, have fun. I will say this to the Rams. They need offensive linemen. And I've seen them play for many years now because, obviously, I used to root for them when they were in St. Louis. But I used to watch them, their O-line, and I watched them this past season. They have the same issues. And, the key to an offense is an offensive line. But, who knows? I could be wrong.
Yeah, but Alex, don't you think they can address that in the second round?
Possibly, yeah. I mean, there'll be some O-linemen available. It depends, I guess, who they take. With Dallas, you have to go with Elliott. They need a running back. That's why when they had Murray 2 years ago, I think that's what made him so good, That and Tony Romo wasn't getting hurt every time. But, who was it? Was it Randall? Was their former running back that kept getting arrested?
Yeah, Joseph Randall.
Yeah,
yep, Joseph Randall.
McFadden's getting up there. He's all right, but
So you think they're going with Elliott? Barrett, do you agree? Ezekiel Elliott will be the Cowboys' pick?
I do believe that would probably be to me, it's definitely their biggest need. I think they had their eye on Bosa, to be honest with you. But, other than that, I really see a runner, him or Henry. I don't know. It just depends. At this point, is that pick worth, is it worth taking a running back right now? I think so. I think Elliott's upside is tremendous. And right now you got to strike while the iron's hot if you're the Cowboys because they've got a great offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Aaron, do you agree with that?
Absolutely, they need a running back.
Yeah.
Although, we were talking before about a corner. I wouldn't doubt them taking a corner either. They lost a lot of depth in their secondary in the last couple of years with Terrence Newman leaving.
Yeah.
Dallas' secondary is probably their worst position as far as depth. Yeah, they need a running back, but can they get that, in the second or third round? It all depends on what they feel the depth of the draft that running back is. I think Elliott's the safe bet. I think that's the way to go. I think his skill set's similar to DeMarco Murray, so that's probably who I would pick.
Well, real quick, I'm going to disagree. Yeah. I think Jalen Ramsey's the bigger need. They signed Alfred Morris in the offseason, didn't they?
They did.
Alfred
really?
Morris, didn't they? Am I not right here, Matt?
Yes, you are.
What was the name? What was the name?
They got Alfred Morris from Washington, and you put him behind that offensive line, and he's plenty there. I mean, if they take Ezekiel Elliott, I mean, Jerry Jones needs to have his head examined, which we already know he needs to anyways from the time he fired Jimmy Johnson. But
that's a great point, Mike.
What do you think, Matt? Let's let Matt get his 2 cents
a really good
before
point.
they pick here.
I forgot that they got Alfred Morris. It really makes they could use Ezekiel Elliott, but Jalen Ramsey, I think, would fill a bigger need. They really need some help in that secondary. I think their front seven's pretty good, although they need another pass rusher. But Jalen Ramsey could be a game changer. He's the kind of guy that really could be an anchor for that secondary. I gotta believe they're going to go Ramsey on this.
Yeah, Ramsey's a guy that can cover the number 1 receiver. He can play safety. He can cover the slot. He can pretty much play anywhere on the field. What do you think, Dexter?
That is a great point you just made, and I didn't realize and didn't remember in the media that Alfred went to Dallas. That totally changed my perspective on either of the big-time running backs, because usually in the past drafts, running backs weren't going in the first round, so I would have went with Ramsey and said, hey, we'll pick up a running back in the in the second, third, or whatever. But now that I know they got Alfred, even with Ezekiel and Henry there, man, I hit Ramsey so quick because of the versatility you just mentioned. Safety, corner, covering the guy in the slot. I mean, he is that versatile, and that's what they need more than anything now that they've got a running back that I believe can fit that, starting slot.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mike, I forgot about Alfred Morris, too. And I was talking about the secondary depth and how they lost Terrence Newman a couple of years ago and some of these other guys. Their secondary is suspect. They have to go corner here. They have to go Ramsey. Although I'm sure Buckner's pretty appealing to Jerry Jones right now as well, to have Buckner and Hardy on the D-line.
Yeah, and I mean, the reason that's appealing is not because you'd have him with Hardy, but, I mean, you don't know with the way Hardy's conducted himself lately whether something's going to happen again.
Right.
And if something happens one more time, he's going to be gone for at least a year, if not banned.
Yeah. Dallas's pick is in, so we'll see who they go with here.
Yep.
Well, all right, so Matt will announce that here in a second when Roger Goodell announces it.
Yeah, Roger Goodell.
Okay, stick it in.
Everybody loves Roger Goodell.
I know, right?
I bet when he walks in his own house, everybody boos him.
Yeah, I bet he walks down the street like, Vince McMahon, WWE. No chance, whatever he does.
Ezekiel Elliott. Wow.
Is it?
That's what it's.
Right. You have to say it's a great pick. It's just what was more reasonable. Was it Ramsey or was it Ezekiel? I mean, Ezekiel is a big time back. So, they just got now a quality backup and a quality starter.
Interesting.
Here we go. We'll see if ESPN was right or not, because the pick's coming up now.
Yeah, I got the NFL Network on mute on my TV. Cowboys select. Ezekiel Elliott.
Yep,
Ezekiel Elliott.
Wow. So that means Ramsey?
Wow.
I'm going to be surprised if Ramsey's going to Jacksonville now.
Oh, now that would be big time now. Jacksonville, I think, would take – well, you know what? But their offensive line is terrible.
I think Jacksonville has to put Tunsil.
I think Tunsil's going to Jacksonville. And
I'm telling you. Yeah,
it's Tunsil, Ramsey, or Miles Jack. Those are the three that would fill the most need for them.
Yeah, and I wouldn't say Miles Jack.
Would take Jack yet.
Yeah, because I'm here in Jackson. I'm here in Jacksonville, and they're not. As much as I love Jack, they're not going to take him because they got Tevin Smith, they've got Hosklowski. They got some depth there. Maybe not as good as Jack, but they're solid. They're solid.
Yeah, but I think Miles Jack's the best player in this draft.
Yeah,
I couldn't agree with you more. And if they value him that way, you're right.
If you're picking 5 and they drop the best player in the draft in your lap,
that's true.
They've already built it up. They got a running game now. Blake Bortles looks like a solid quarterback. They could probably use another wide receiver, but they can pick one up second or third round. I would go Miles Jack if I was them. I don't think they will, but and from everything I heard, they were more interested in. What was that?
Hey, and can I say
don't
something
forget
about their
they're going to
receiver?
get Dante Fowler back.
Dante Fowler. What I'm gonna tell you. Yeah. And guys, I know without a doubt they would not take a receiver, because if you guys are in this area, their receivers, I'm telling you, they're built for the future. Their receivers, Bortles got him a group of guys that I'm telling you he loves. So receiver definitely won't be it. But Miles Jack, you're right.
Hey, I wouldn't count out DeForest Buckner here either.
Yeah, that's nice year.
I mean, that gives them a pass rusher, plus the fact that we got two 49ers on here that for some reason really want DeForest Buckner, so I'm hoping he goes. And don't be surprised if the 49ers either trade down or if the 49ers pick Paxton Lynch.
Jeez.
Now that was Paxton Lynch to me is a project.
He's the best quarterback in this draft. They're all projects.
Pretty much. I mean, I'll say the same with Goff and Wentz. They take some time to develop, but you never know about them. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I tell you, if
Aaron,
falls
what do you think they're going to do?
I think they're going to pick Tunsil.
Yeah.
I agree.
That would be the smart pick, but everybody keeps passing up on him right now.
Yeah. 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 They need him.
They're one of their biggest needs is O-line. I think that was, a big point is they got Allen Hurns and Allen Robinson, and Blake Bortles loves his receivers. You got to protect them to be able to get the ball to those receivers, and I think Tunsil helps solidify their offensive line a little better.
And so basically they're going to move, I believe it's Jokel over to the right. And we talked about this on the draft show. They were third in the league in giving up sacks, and most of them came from Jokel. And I agree. If you take Tunsil over there, Jokel over right, and that's going to be a good team here in a year or two. This is where they split up the offense, and you're right about Blake Bortles. You keep him upright, he can make plays. And Dexter, you're right about the receivers. They can get it done. They've got some talent there. So I think they're taking a left tackle here.
Absolutely, and I'm telling you too, guys. Forget about 2 years from now. I know somebody just said, they're going to be great in 2 years. No.
Oh, they're going to be good next year.
Yes, and this city and this owner has given Bradley 4 years. And you know what? I believe they built this team. David Caldwell and Bradley, he's built this team right. With the right guys, young guys, a few free agents. You know what? But he built it similar to Seattle, and in my opinion, and the way Caldwell built the Atlanta Falcons when he was there. I think he's done an excellent job. Yes, this year, I'm telling you, is the year.
Well, not either.
Yes.
All right. So, Barrett, which way do you think Jacksonville will go?
I don't see these tackles. Tackles are too much a premium in today's game, protecting the quarterback. So I don't see these tackles sliding past 15. The other guy, I don't like I said, I don't know Jacksonville's needs, but best athlete on the board, Ramsey, like we were talking about last. I'd like to go back and talk about the Elliott pick by the Cowboys.
Go ahead.
I love that pick. I think for the tradition that the Cowboys have had and what they've done when they were winning Super Bowls, it was always about that running game. And it doesn't matter how many thousands of yards these quarterbacks throw for. A running game does nothing but improve your chances to win. So I think it would. I think Jerry doing that. I think it was a gutsy move, but I think it was the right move, and I think it was the best thing.
So do you think there's more of a need since they've added Alfred Morris?
Elliott's an incredible back. I'm talking about can catch the ball and is super physical. So I
and explosive.
I think yes, and I think he's good for 12 to 1,500 yards next year. Depending on what kind of endurance he's got for his first season, and he's going to get better after that. So I think it's a great pick. I really do. I think the importance of a running back is always going to be there, no matter how how dispensable they might seem to be.
Matt, what do you think about that?
quick question, Barrett. What the Cowboys have done with drafting offensive linemen in the last 3, they have put Nick Martin, dominant center, Tyron Smith on left tackle. They are road graders. Road graders. Is Ezekiel Elliott, and I know you can't think of Jerry Jones, but is that the final piece to just where is he the guy?
I would say yes if they can keep one more healthy.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
All right, it looks like this pick's in.
Yep, it is in. I have not seen what it is yet. But the pick is definitely in.
Oh,
Jalen
Ramsey.
Yeah.
Yep, Jalen Ramsey.
Interesting. Good addition. Good help to the secondary.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? Although they need linemen, hey, you can't go wrong with him. Can't go wrong.
No, not at all.
No, he's a stud.
Yeah,
It's the same thing with Dallas. I think they've got a good enough running back, but you can't argue with Ezekiel Elliott.
He's going to be very good for them.
Yeah, he is.
Especially behind that line, like you guys were talking about. Dallas's line is so good. I still think it's the best line in football. And with Ezekiel Elliott behind them, you still got Des Bryant out there. Their offense is just going to be very hard to stop.
Yeah, Ramsey's going to upgrade them immediately. Also, Jacksonville on the defensive side, and really, if you look at the AFC South, I mean, the Colts dominated it for years. But I think now, if you look at the Titans draft well, I mean, the Texans have already drafted got Osweiler, which I don't think he's a great quarterback, but he's definite improvement. And then you've got, they got the running back. I mean, they look like they're turning the corner also, and you throw in Jacksonville. And I really like Gus Bradley as a coach. We were actually on vacation in St. Augustine a few years ago, and we went to his first camp. And, I mean, I think the guy's a good football coach. What do you think, Dexter? You're down there.
Oh, you know what? Definitely a good coach. I tell you, him and Bradley, as I said, Bradley and David Caldwell was a perfect team. But Caldwell brought Bradley in, and Kahn brought in Caldwell. And I'm going to tell you what, the decisions they're making, and look back at Caldwell's history now. You know, he was tutored by Tobin. Is it Tobin that was at Carolina? He was with the Indianapolis Colts, you know. So he built those teams, and Caldwell learned from him. He learned how to, you know, go through the process and build a team right, not overnight. You know, and then he brings in Bradley, who comes from Pete Carroll, you know, coaching tree. And I'm going to tell you, they have methodically not rushed it, and they built this team through the draft and very few free agents. But you know what I like about it? All of them weren't first through third rounders. They built this team on good players through evaluation in the third through seventh round that made this ball club. Some of them were free agents, but they panned out, and you've seen the development over time. And this team is building for for a run at it this year.
All right, real quick, Alex Gray, right? We're going to go ahead. We're going to let you go. If you want to call back in an hour or so, feel free. But we got to clear up some room. Mike Cannon dropped off too, so if anybody else wants to call in, they can. But thanks for calling in, and keep listening, Alex.
Yeah, no problem. When the Bengals.
Take care, Alex.
All right. Sorry about that, Alex. I think I let him go a little soon. So where are we at now? We have pick number 6. Baltimore Ravens. Yep. I think they go with Tunzel. What do you think, Barrett?
Yeah. I definitely think he's a solid pick for anybody right now. I mean, anybody's going to get a steal with him. Ramsey, once again, I'm going to go back and talk about the last pick real quick. Ramsey, to me, hearing Jimbo Fisher talk about him, he was a guy that brought his lunch pail to practice every day. He couldn't say enough about how fast this guy practiced. And I think that brings a lot of work ethic to your, you got a young guy that plays in the defensive backfield that's a leader. I think that's going to be a big pick for Jacksonville. I'm really excited to see his career.
All right, Matt.
As far as Baltimore goes, I believe they're going to take a left tackle. I believe they will take Tunsil. It's possible that they could take Buckner or even Stanley, but I think Tunsil's the best player available. They definitely have a need at tackle. There's really no denying Tunsil's talents, so I'm going to go with Tunsil going to Baltimore.
All right, Dexter?
Yeah, and I haven't studied Baltimore a lot, but I know that you can't go wrong with tackles, but was Tunsil, he's from Mississippi, right?
Yeah.
Is he the one? I heard a lot about him after the season ended. You watch more and more film on him, and, he didn't look as dominant when you really focused and broke it down. Great size and great potential and ability. If he develops into what you hope he can based on his size and all that, he'll be a good player. But it doesn't surprise me that he's dropping a little bit based on some of the things that I've heard over the last few months.
Yeah, but really, I don't think there's a tackle in here where there aren't some questions about him. What do you think, Barrett?
That's true. I agree.
Because really, Barrett, you can speak from experience. There's a big difference between being a college lineman and then getting to the NFL and taking on grown men that are getting paid to do it.
There is a huge difference in the competition and physical presence in general. Like I said, I was talking about earlier, you don't really know that what you have on the offensive or defensive line until you go live. And that's not going to happen for a while. But there's all the drills and all the questions. If you can watch enough film on a guy and he's got enough size and agility, you got a good bet. I think Tunsil's probably going to be the next pick. If not, he's not going to go past 15. Or 12 even.
The pick is in.
Where's Charlie? If you want to, it's up to you.
Hey, what are you guys? We got a lot of background noise.
Yeah, and it's probably me, guys. And I got the kids, so I'm gonna have to run. I apologize, guys.
Oh, that's fine. You get in bed, give us a call back.
Okay, absolutely, my man. Appreciate it, guys. I'll talk to you shortly.
All right, thanks a lot, Dexter. All right, Aaron, be ready to talk about this pick when they get done, because I'm coming to you first.
I actually wanted to say the last time they picked a left tackle from Ole Miss, I think it worked out pretty well for him with Michael O'Hare.
It did? He was a bust.
He was pretty solid left tackle for the Ravens, yes, absolutely. They made a movie
after. They had to move him to right tackle. But.
They're taking a tackle.
Ronnie Stanley.
Yep.
Wow.
All right, Buckner is available.
Oh, hey, Miles Jack's available.
True. There's a lot available. I'm happy
we're going to let Aaron speak
Buckner.
real quick on this pick and what he thinks the Niners are going to do, because I know we got two Niner fans here that want to get this out, and it's going to take them a while probably. So go, Aaron, quickly.
Stanley, again, left tackle is a need for the Ravens. I'm surprised here that they didn't go with Tunsil, but Notre Dame's a good program. Linemen are, they've had some pretty good linemen come out of that program, some good players come out of that program. I don't know a lot about this guy other than the fact that he was a second-team All-American. Can he play at this level? Like you said before, jump into the NFL, blocking the guys that are the best pass rushers off the edge in the league. Is he going to hold up? I guess time will tell. But for the 49ers pick, I think they go with Buckner here. They've lost a lot of guys off their defense in the last couple of years. Borland retirement at linebacker. Justin Smith. They've lost a lot of talent off their defensive side of the ball. So I think
I forgot Dexter had to go. We only got one Niner fan that wants to talk anyway. So Barrett, we'll get you after Matt gives his opinion on his favorite team.
No problem.
Well,
so Matt.
Well, I think it's. I think DeForest Buckner. Like Mike, you and I talked about this. Buckner is probably the best defensive end in this draft. He is a former teammate of the guy they picked first last year, Eric Armstead. If they were to get both, have both Armstead and Buckner in the lineup at defensive end, they're both 6'7". They're both about 300. I think all of a sudden their defensive line is pretty good for years to come. I like Ian Williams in the middle, and with those two defensive ends, I think Buckner's got to be the guy you get. But if they don't, Tunsil, if they go with Tunsil, you know, a lot of people have him real high as the best tackle in the draft. The Ravens didn't think so, but you know, he'd be a great pick too. So either way.
What do you think, Barrett?
Okay, let me catch up. Who was picked last?
Who picked last? Baltimore Ravens, San Francisco 49ers are up next. The Ravens picked Ronnie Stanley, offensive tackle from Notre Dame.
Okay, right on. Great pick, solid pick. I saw him. I think that's a good pick. I still think that the DB. I think he went to Ramsey went.
Yeah, Ramsey went to Jacksonville.
Okay, well I don't know who's going to get picked next, y'all.
Well, I don't know who they're going to pick either because it's Chip Kelly, and if he has anything to do with it, God help the 49ers. But
he does not.
I can't see these premium tackles go. You know, like I say, much past 15.
Yeah, and usually if there's one guy that goes at a position, there's usually a run on him. So we may see that now, we may not. Buckner, I actually like Buckner a little bit better than Bosa. But I'm not completely sold on Buckner, and as me and Matt talk all the time, the one position that is the biggest crapshoot to pick in the first round is defensive line. It seems like there's been more bust at that position than any other. Was
Buckner the guy from Ohio State?
He's the guy from Oregon. Bosa's the guy from Ohio State.
Oregon.
Okay. There was somebody that I was seeing today who looked like a great player at defensive end, but they had talked about character issues and what have you. I thought he was physically as good as anybody in the draft, but I don't know where. I can't even remember the name I was thinking, but.
It could have been Bosa because Bosa is the one that was suspended for a game because he refused to take a drug test against Virginia Tech.
Ruh-roh. Okay, I don't know. Didn't hurt him.
So how far are we from the pick coming in? Is it in? Pick is in.
It's in right now. I think the Browns are going to get Tunsil, but this is something. Sounds like we're getting Buckner, according to Schefter.
What's the Were thing? Come on now. You're supposed to be an objective person on here. Because everybody now that's listening is saying, who's Were?
That's how I'll be talking when the Packers up, so you know.
Matt's in prayer mode right now.
I admit it.
They just traded the pick for Johnny Manziel. They just traded the pick for Johnny Manziel. Chip Kelly thinks he can make him the next Joe Montana.
We got Joe
from jail.
The 49ers. They drafted DeForest Buckner.
Did they? All right. Well, you get your wish then.
Yes, I do.
So next up we got Cleveland. Where do you think Cleveland goes, Barrett?
Cleveland, who knows? I'm thinking they do want to get another quarterback. Is it too soon to go with Lynch? And that's, to me, that's the question. They had Lynch going later in the first round, but at the same time they have had such a problem with that. I think they would be doing a real good thing, you know, creating that kind of competition and letting someone come in and learn from RG3 as well as push him a little bit. So, you know, we'll see. You know, other than that, you know, probably going to need some defense and some offensive linemen.
Yeah, they need a little bit of everything. Matt, where do you think they go?
I think they're going to go offensive line. I think Tunsil adds a really nice piece. They've already got Joe Thomas at left tackle. I think Tunsil can play right tackle, and that can begin to anchor an offensive line. Their problem for years, obviously, everybody points to quarterback, but when was the last time Cleveland had a really good offensive line? It's been a long time.
They had a really good quarterback.
Well, yeah, but quarterbacks don't even have a chance if they're on their back.
No, I agree with that.
I think Cleveland's got to build this offensive line.
What do you think, Aaron?
I have said Tunsil's name a couple of times. I can't believe he's sliding this far. Maybe there's something I don't know about him, but I definitely think Cleveland having two bookend tackles would protect RG3, and I think they maybe they do go with, Cook or a Lynch later on, trade back up into the end of the first round or something, but Tunsil's got to be the pick here, or that Jack, too. I know you're pretty high on him. I don't know.
I hope they don't take Miles Jack because I'm a Bengals fan, so here we go. The 49ers selection is officially in.
I bet they go Buckner.
DeForest Buckner.
Yep.
Now, see, there's a delay, so you cheated on that pick, so it doesn't count. That and the fact that Matt announced it earlier because he has some ends with the 49ers. But, hey, real quick, guys, we're going to take a break and check out this commercial from Gridiron Mo.
All-Pro Leon Search. I've got a new interactive app called Gridiron Mo, where you get to call the plays, offense or defense, and a live NFL game. You get to interact with other fans, pick the play, pick the call. That's Gridiron Mo.
Hi, this is Dan Pastorini, and you're listening to The Grueling Truth.
All right, we are back with the Grueling Truth's first ever live NFL draft show. I'm your host, Mike Goodpaster. My co-host, Matt Andruscavage, is in. Former Oakland Raider All-Pro Center, Barret Robbins, is with us. And Aaron Zepnik's with us from Green Bay. Correct, Aaron?
Well,
yes, sir.
All right, so we're talking Cleveland Browns. I mean, you still got Miles Jack on the board. You also got guys like Leonard Floyd, who I think is a very would be a great pick for him, too, here. They need a little bit of everything. You got still Tunsil on there from Ole Miss. So we're just kind of talking about what Cleveland's going to do. Hopefully they've got Hugh Jackson running this draft instead of their baseball guy. Huh?
Cleveland traded their pick to the Titans.
I told you Cleveland could trade that pick. I just didn't think it was going to be to the Titans.
Yep.
So, what are the Titans jumping up here to get? Are the Titans jumping up to get a tackle, or are they jumping up to get a Miles Jack, or what's your opinion, Aaron?
I don't know. It depends which one they like. It's one of those two. If they're trading back up, I think they're probably coming back up to get Tunsil.
All right. What do you think, Barrett?
Well, I think Miles Jack is a game changer. I think there's definitely still some questions about that knee, but depending on how much progress he's made in the last month, he might very well be getting ready to go.
Yeah, and the thing is about Miles Jack, he might be the second best running back in this draft too. I mean, if you watched him at UCLA when he ran the ball, he was pretty damn good doing that too. Matt, what's your opinion on what they might do?
I really believe that they wanted Tunsil from the beginning, but they felt like they could get him later. I read something about this today, that they were able to trade out of that number one, and they felt like one of those two tackles was going to be there, and that they would possibly move back up to trade with someone like Cleveland or the Bears or the Niners. And I think they accomplished what they set out to do. I think they wanted a tackle, and they were able to acquire some extra picks for it. I think they're definitely going Tunsil here.
Yeah, I think they are too. I mean, it's possible you go Conklin. Conklin, the guy or the tackle from Michigan State, I don't think he's very good. I think Tunsil's a stud. The thing is this, that opens it up for Tampa Bay. I mean, for Miles Jack or Leonard Floyd, I mean, somebody that could really help their defense also, Aaron.
Yeah, and I think this trade, for the Cleveland Browns makes a lot of sense. They need a lot. So to acquire more, I think it helps both teams. I think Cleveland can also use those extra picks to maybe get a diamond in the rough later on.
And it's not beyond comprehension that somebody might want to jump up the Cleveland spot again. They could trade down, get even more, and get Paxton Lynch towards the end of the first round.
Yeah,
that's what
Denver might do that.
That's what I was. Yeah, I agree with that one.
Yeah, either. I mean, there's a few teams that might do that. I mean,
sure. You do take a chance. You do take a chance of not getting the guy you want, but at the same time, you can get more down the line if you don't, even still. So I think they're probably taking a little bit of a chance, but they still might get their guy. I think they're looking for Lynch to create that competition and get that position, the most important position, get that whole thing turned around.
All right, the Titans pick is in.
Yep.
Roger Goodell's walking up to a bunch of boos to tell everybody what it is.
Tunsil, no doubt.
It's got to be Tunsil.
Yeah. They need it.
Jack Conklin. I love the Browns. I know. That's a pick the Browns make. They picked Jack Conklin at 8.
That's shocking.
I mean, I don't understand this, but this is going to be like the day Dan Marino dropped all the way down, and everybody wondered why everybody passed on him. I think Tunsil is head and shoulders better than Conklin. What do you think, Matt?
Oh yeah.
I think this might have been an issue, an off the field issue. I think who knows in evaluation, physically, from what I saw, I don't think there's any argument. But sometimes these days you take a chance when someone has some personal issues that early in your career because you don't want to waste that first contract.
Hey, guys, we got a caller on the line. Looks like a 414 area code. Caller, who are we speaking with?
This is Tyler.
Hey, how you doing, Tyler?
Good. How are you guys?
Tyler.
Hey.
Tyler's somebody else up from Wisconsin. We got all kind of Wisconsin people tonight here, Matt and Aaron.
That's right. That third pick, the Chargers took both. That kind of surprised me. Honestly, I didn't see that coming. But
yeah, I didn't see them being brave enough to get Jack Conklin either.
Yeah, I had a feeling once Tunsil was falling, I thought they would trade. The Tennessee would trade for Tunsil, but yeah, I didn't see Conklin coming either. But Tunsil's just gonna keep falling.
Well, we were right on the position.
So we've got coming up next at number 9. We will have who we got at number 9, Matt? Tampa Bay, right?
Number 9. Yes, Tampa Bay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right, so let's recap real quick. The Rams pick with the number 1 pick, quarterback Jared Goff. Philadelphia picked quarterback Carson Wentz with the 2nd pick. The 3rd pick was Joey Bosa to San Diego. The 4th pick was Ezekiel Elliott to Dallas. The 5th pick was Jalen Ramsey to Jacksonville. 6 was Ronnie Stanley to Baltimore. 7 was DeForest Buckner to San Francisco. Number 8 was Jack Conklin to Tennessee, which puts Tampa Bay on the board. Where do you think Tampa Bay is going to go, Matt?
Tampa Bay really could go in a few different places here. I got to believe they're going with that outside linebacker. For some reason,
Malcolm Floyd.
Aside, I can't remember his name. What was it?
Leonard Floyd?
Malcolm Floyd from Georgia?
Yeah, Leonard Floyd.
Leonard Floyd.
Or Leonard, yeah. Leonard.
Yeah, Floyd.
Yeah, I think you're going Leonard Floyd or Shaq Lawson here, and you've still got, maybe the best player on the board there in Miles Jack. He's still available.
Yeah, exactly.
I think Jack will fall to the Giants.
I wouldn't be
I think Giants or Chicago.
I wouldn't be too surprised if it wasn't Treadwell or Dotson. You get as good a season as Winston had last year. He could have used more help at the receiver spot.
He's got Mike Evans and Vincent Jackson, Barrett.
Is that right? Well, what kind of numbers do they have?
They had pretty good numbers, didn't they?
Yeah.
Evans and Winston down.
Well, okay. Well, you guys might be right.
Have another one too, especially a special one like that. I mean, there's 2 or 3 receivers in here that I think are going to be really good. And I mean, you never know. I mean, they're a team that needs a little bit of everything, also, though. That's why they traded the pick to the Bears. What was that?
Tampa Bay just traded their pick to the Bears.
To the Bears.
Wow. Miles Jack. I think the Bears had a lot of interest in Miles Jack. I know they showed a lot of interest in him. They had talks, and I heard that they were possibly going to trade up. So I feel like that's who they'll take.
Yeah, why else would you trade up 2 spots? And I think this sets up Tunsil to go to the Giants, who need an offensive tackle. I mean, they got Eric Flowers last year, who I think is going to be a really good tackle. You throw, Tunsil with him, and you get the beginnings of a really good offensive line. What do you think, Barrett?
Yeah, I think anytime you get a quarterback that comes in and does what Winston did in his first year, I think you want to really you want to show him that that you're moving towards protecting him. He doesn't. We don't want to have this guy run his whole career. So I think he had a great rookie season. I think a left tackle would be some leadership for the future that this team could use.
Okay, Matt, what do you think Chicago's going to do here?
Well, I think it's going to be either Tunsil or Jack. The fact that they're making a trade means if they like somebody here, I'm almost thinking it's going to be Miles Jack. I don't know. This is a hard one though because it could be Floyd. I think it's Floyd, Jack, or Tunsil here.
Yeah, I think it's Tunsil or Jack. I mean, because you got to figure if they're sitting at 11, as we just talked, the Giants. If you look at what the Giants need a tackle. So to me, it's also possible. I mean, they're just trying to get ahead of the Giants, possibly to get the tackle. But I think it's Miles Jack or him. What do you think, Tyler?
I think it's Miles Jack. Like I said, there's a lot of talk. It was about a week ago with the Bears having a lot of interest in Jack, and it was Elliott too. Ezekiel Elliott, obviously you got taken fourth, but they showed a lot of interest in him. I actually thought that maybe they would trade up for Elliott if he fell, but I think it'll be Jack. I know they had a lot of interest in Jack, said that they showed a lot of interest, and I think with Trevathan now, I think that would be a good compliment as an outside linebacker, plus Jack's very versatile, and he can play anywhere. Obviously, he played running back, played safety in college. So I think that would be their pick.
All right, says the pick's in, but they're still not up there yet.
Yeah.
As a Packer fan, I hope they don't Jack.
Well, here comes Roger Goodell. He's walking up with some woman now so he doesn't get booed. We'll see. Oh, okay. I guess the pick's not in. Now he's going to try to say something to make himself not look like an ass.
I did not see the pick, but.
Well, maybe the Browns are picking that woman. We'll see.
That Walter Payton's mom and son.
Never know.
Yeah, new team mom. Let's see.
Maybe they're picking Walter Payton's son.
His son already played in the NFL for a little while. That's Jarrett. He played at the U, I think, didn't he, Barrett?
I think he did.
Yeah, and then he played with the Titans for a little bit.
Yeah, I think he played arena football for a while, too. But, all right, so are we settled? You pretty sure it's Tunsil or Jack here, Matt?
Yeah, I think so. All right, pick us in. No, I haven't said it yet. But yeah, I'm positive it's got to be Tunsil or Jack here.
Now, do you think it's possible Cleveland's trading down and we'll take a quarterback?
Yeah, that's possible too. Tough to say.
I'm going to go out on a limb here with Chicago, Mike. They may take that Joseph, the safety. Their safeties have been bad for years.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what. Why would you trade up to get him when I don't think Tampa Bay or the Giants, either one, would take him?
That's true.
You know, so to me, the guys that you have to worry about going here are probably, before they get to them, are Tunsil and Jack. This way they trade up, they know they're going to get one of them. The Bears got the 9th overall pick, and it looks like the Bucs got an extra 4th-round pick in this draft.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now he's coming out with the junior Bears. He'll do anything to keep from getting booed, won't he? And who names a baseball team the Bears, anyways? All right, we just had the Bosco Junior Bears introduced.
Yeah.
So what do you think of Roger Goodell, Barrett? I'm just kidding. You don't have to answer that. You don't have to answer that one. I was just kidding. I was killing time right there. That's what I call a filler.
Mike, what was your opinion on what the Bears are going to do here, Mike? I heard everybody else. I didn't hear what you were going to say.
The Bears, I think, just with the trade, it's either Tunsil or Jack. I think it's Jack, but or Leonard Floyd.
Have to move up to get him.
Well, because if you remember Tampa Bay, everybody thought Leonard Floyd was going to Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
Well, someone said before about Laramie Tunsil, maybe there's some off-field issues or some, testing or something he didn't test well in, or some character issues that we don't know about. Usually those are pretty well spoken before the draft, but the fact that 3 or 4 teams now have passed on him that need a left tackle, and there was 2 other tackles taken.
Wow.
That tells me that someone knows something.
Well, someone
Leonard
thinks
Floyd
they know
is
something.
taken by the Bears.
There's been a lot of times where they've started rumors about guys that it wasn't true either.
Yeah.
Bears have selected Leonard Floyd.
One of my friends was telling me, I don't know where he heard it from, but he said that Tunsil had some kind of issue with marijuana. So that's what he was telling me. I don't know where he heard it from. We were just talking before, so that's why he thinks he was falling. But I don't know if that's true or not. I don't remember.
Yeah, but if he was addicted to prescription drugs, they wouldn't mind.
Yeah, that's true.
But don't even get me started on that. So, yeah.
For tomorrow night, Mike.
Mike, what do you think of? What do you think of the pick?
Leonard Floyd, I think it's a great pick. I think Leonard Floyd's a stud. I mean, his leverage is great. His pad level is always low. I mean, he can run the hoop as a defensive end. I think he can play outside linebacker. I think he's a really good player. What do you think, Matt?
I do too. The Bears need defensive help, and everything I've read about Leonard Floyd is he's very disruptive, good outside linebacker. He should be able to provide a good pass rush, which is really something that the Bears need. Miles Jack, I think, probably would have been better, but the knee must be some kind of an issue because.
Well, no, I think with Tampa Bay or with Chicago, I think the need for a pass rush is why they take Leonard Floyd. I don't think that necessarily says anything about Miles Jack. I just think they have a bigger need at defensive end. I think the Bears signed a couple inside linebackers in free agency period also. Yeah, so they got Danny Trevathan. I think they signed somebody else too. Name slips me right now, but I mean Leonard Floyd. I mean, you watch him play. He can play. I think he's going to be a star in the NFL. I don't think it's a bad pick at all, and I think it was worth giving up a 4th-round pick for. Next on the board are the Giants. If Tunsil doesn't go here, then we know there's some kind of issue. I mean, because if he slipped, and I mean the Giants need a tackle. What do you think, Barrett?
I'm not really sure, to be honest with you. Don't know what's available. I think Floyd was a great pick, and Miles Jack is to me, it's coming up for him. You know what I'm saying? I do believe he was one of the better players in this draft.
Yeah, it's got to be. I mean, even though he has a knee issue, and I know they read a lot into stuff like that, but I mean, the guy is a superb talent. Of course, I mean, I've seen mock drafts today that had Miles Jack dropping all the way to the mid-teens even. And, I mean, I've also seen mocks that had Tunsil dropping into the mid to late teens also.
I don't know if are you guys watching ESPN or NFL Network? But
no, I just got it on the background.
Just saying that,
I don't care what they say. I'd better listen to Matt and Barrett.
Yeah. Well, I was just saying, somebody posted a video of him smoking marijuana on Twitter or something. So apparently teams are taking his name off the draft board because of that.
I hope the Bengals get him.
Just said. I don't know.
Well, that means this. Because of that, some team is going to get a steal, and he just cost himself a lot of money.
Yes, he did. He certainly did that. Not a good move.
And if I'm him, I find that friend and I beat the hell out of him.
Well, you know,
some guy had
it's hard to get
something
privacy.
for him.
It's going to be harder to get privacy when you get to the pros. I promise you that.
Yeah, it's hard to get privacy anywhere anymore.
Very true.
Yeah.
So we'll have the Giants pick coming up here in a minute, but real quick, we're going to go to another guy from the U, Leon Searcy, to tell you about Gridiron Mo.
This is former All-Pro Leon Searcy. I've got a new interactive app called Gridiron Mo, where you get to call the plays, offense or defense, and a live NFL game. You get to interact with other fans, pick the play, pick the call. That's Gridiron Mo.
And you are listening to the Grueling Truth.
that was Roman Gabriel, but for some reason, it didn't come out where he said his name. So remember, guys, check out thegruelingtruth.net. Check out all the articles, the podcast. I mean, our last few guests have been great. We had Jerry Ball on, was that Monday night, talking about his career a little bit, and then really the big thing to hear about there is just the stuff that happened in the early 90s that the NFLPA and the NFL did to the retired players. It'll blow your mind. And on Sunday we had former LA Ram great and also TV star, he was in Hunter, Fred Dreyer, who was on the show, who also talked about that a little bit also. So let's just say Fred Dreyer and Jerry Ball are not big friends of Gene Upshaw. So, Aaron, what do you think the Giants are doing? You think they're going with Tunsil? You think they go with Jack, or you think they go elsewhere?
At this point, your guess is as good as mine. I think it's, we're all making guesses based on what we see off of, mock drafts or highlight reels or what we've seen watching college football. What we're not seeing is everything behind closed doors, the questions and the interview process and, the testing. I think Tunsil is the best available pick.
All right, here we go. The Giants pick is in. Eli Apple, cornerback, Ohio State.
Yep, Eli Apple. Wow. Yep. Wow.
Eli Apple's going to the Big Apple. There you go.
I wouldn't have thought that. If you're going corner, I'm surprised they didn't take Hargraves.
Yeah. I think Apple's better than Hargraves. I think Hargraves is slightly overrated. I still think he's a good player, but all right. What do you think of the pick, Matt?
Well, like you said, I think that Apple's if he's not the number 2 corner, then he's definitely the number 1. So it's you're getting one of the top corners in the draft, but I don't know. I don't think that's where they have a need. I think they really have a problem on offensive line. But maybe there must be something going on with Tunsil. And I also think Miles Jack would have helped them a lot, too. So while I think it's a good pick, I guess it just raises so many questions as to what's going on with Tunsil.
Yeah, and I think about anybody that the Giants pick defensively is going to help them because defensively they were not very good last year. Aaron, what do you think of the pick? Okay, if Aaron's not going to answer me, what do you think, Barrett?
To be honest with you, you can never have enough good defensive backs. The ability to slow down receivers and let your defensive line get to the quarterback has won the Giants many games in the past. So I think that's probably a good fit as far as their scheme and what they've won with in the past.
All right, so next pick we've got Tampa Bay. What do you think they're doing, Matt?
Well, Tampa Bay probably wanted Leonard Floyd, but I think let me put it this way. They probably would have been happy with Leonard Floyd, but they must have been wanting somebody else that they thought was going to be there. If they don't draft Tunsil here, then something's got to be wrong because I think they need help on the offensive line, but maybe this is where Miles Jack goes.
Yeah, I could also see Shaq Lawson going there. Shaq Lawson's a very good defensive end also. And, Shaq Lawson may be the most explosive defensive end in the draft. But what do you think, Tyler? Where do you think that Tampa Bay goes?
I think I had him taking Vernon Hargreaves. He's a Tampa Bay native, and I think that would help or be a nice compliment to Brent Grimes. They just signed him in the off season. I think that's where they go with the pick because you can't have enough corners. You know, if you have two good corners, it takes away the pass on the outside, and it helps out. So I believe that they take Vernon Hargreaves here.
All right, where do you think they're going, Aaron? You here?
Yep, I think they're going to go with Jack. I think Jack or Lawson. I like your Lawson. Just sounds like a Buccaneers name. I feel like I've seen a Lawson on their.
What's that mean? How do you sound like a Buccaneers name?
Well, like I think Jack. Honestly, like I think of teams and like the kind of names they pick. Like the Packers have their weird, just a little bit of a. Like Rollins and Randall and the names that they pick. I just think that the Saints, Jack fits with the Saints. They need a middle linebacker, I think. I think that Lawson fits Tampa Bay's scheme, and he's a guy I could see them drafting.
All right, Matt, you agree?
Yeah, I definitely think that Miles Jack could be the guy here. I think he would fit their scheme pretty well. They need a little bit more help at defense, but I also wouldn't be surprised if it was Hargreaves. I have seen his name tied to Tampa Bay a few times, but Jack is just too good to pass, though, I hear.
Yeah, but everybody's been doing it.
I know. Tunsil, too.
You still got Tunsil? I mean, yeah. But, I mean, Tunsil's in trouble because he was passing, it sounds like. But... Oh, come on, that was just a little joke. A little humor doesn't hurt. So it says here the pick's in, but when it says the pick's in, it means they're going to sit there for 5 more minutes and talk to each other. So
yeah.
They need to hurry this up because we're only on the air for 3 hours. Huh?
One thing I've noticed they got away from is showing the guys on the phone and kind of giving it away.
Yeah, these announcers know who it is.
Yeah, and I mean, this is the only time of the year where people actually watch a show with Mel Kiper on it, so.
I go Travis Henry or one of the receivers.
What was that?
I go Travis Henry or one of the receivers. Sell some tickets.
I'm going to say Shaq Lawson. Lawson or Tunsil?
I mean, they need really all those guys. They need a defensive end. They need a offensive tackle. They could really use Miles Jack. Shaq Lawson would be really good.
Well, I mean, they've been bad for a few years, so usually if you're bad, you need a lot.
One guy is tweeting out that video about Tunsil and the marijuana that shocked a number of teams. That really could be the reason why he's falling.
Yeah, not a good day for that.
No. Never a good day for that with the NFL anymore.
For sure.
Well, it says the pick's in, but probably hadn't been a picked in yet, so.
I got to say, I am surprised that Chicago had to trade up to get Floyd. I feel like they would have got him.
Here we go.
Vernon Hargreaves.
Good pick, Tyler.
Nice. Thank you. Sweet. That's a good pick.
It is.
All right, so who we got next? Hargreaves just went. We got the New Orleans Saints. Any opinion there? Tyler, we'll let you go first since you nailed that one.
I'm kind of going out on a limb here, just because Breeze is getting older, and I think Paxton Lynch needs to learn. After a couple of years, I think that'd be a good fit to learn behind Breeze for a few years, and I think that'd be solid, kind of like a Rodgers and Favre situation, learning behind him and sitting after a couple of years and watching. Obviously, Rodgers benefited some from that, so I think that I'm just going on a limb. I think that could be a possibility.
Yeah, but the one problem you got there is there's so many holes on that team, and especially offensive line.
Yeah, Yeah, no, that is the one thing. I mean,
because if you draft him without drafting any offensive line, Tyler, you may have to replace him immediately anyways.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
So what do you think,
Matt?
I
do like what you guys say.
I think it's going to be Shaq Lawson. The two guys that I really saw going to New Orleans were Hargraves or Lawson. I think they have a need for both. I don't really think the Saints are ready to pick offense in the first round. I think they've got enough there, although I think Tunsil could help them too. But I think they really need to fix that defense. I think they're committed to that, and I think Shaq Lawson is probably the guy.
Yeah, they got a good guy coming at Rodgers.
Whoever is talking about Aaron Rodgers right there, we can barely hear you. Now, I'll tell you an interesting pick here that I think would really help the Saints immediately is Sheldon Rankins, the defensive tackle out of Louisville.
Yeah, that would be good too.
Because defensive line, they've had some problems for a while. And then, of course, you got Tunsil, but it looks like he's going to drop for a while now. What do you think, Barrett?
I think that's a good pick. It's a solid pick. I definitely think they need to shore up their defense. Drew has got a few more years in him, and but they've proven the fact that you just can't outscore everybody. So I think a defensive pick is probably the best thing.
Yeah, but the problem with them is they've needed defense forever, and it seems like they always go for the offensive players. Let's see, Aaron, you there?
Yes, sir.
All right, what do you think?
There's so many needs here, but like I said, I see Jack going to New Orleans. Since the draft started, and you brought up Jack, I thought he's a Saints type guy. He reminds me of like a Pat Swilling, like just a solid guy that can hold down the linebacker position. Although they do need D linemen too, with the tragedy with Will Smith. I wouldn't be surprised with Lawson going here either.
Yeah. Tyler, we went to Tyler. Matt, did we get your opinion on this one yet?
Sorry, I didn't hear that.
Did we get your opinion on the Saints yet? The Saints.
Yeah, I said Shaq Lawson.
Okay.
But yeah, I think Rankins or Jack would also help as well. I think it's got to be a defensive guy, but I'm going to go with Shaq Lawson.
All right, so it looks like they took a little break on here. So, Barrett, you want to tell us a little bit about your draft day experience with the Raiders?
Oh, it was like I told you, we had a party at the house. It was friends and family, had a good time. Only back then the only round that was on TV was the first round. So after that, we turned off the TV, put the radio covers on, sit back and played some Sega Genesis. And the 49th pick came, and I was lucky to be called.
So what game were you playing on the Sega Genesis, Barrett?
NBA Live 95.
NBA Live 95. You just dated yourself right there, Barrett.
Yes, sir. Very proud of that.
That was a fun game.
Love my gray beard. Hey, Mike, I want to take this opportunity to thank you so much for having me on. I've got to bow out. I really appreciate it.
All right. Thanks for coming on, Barrett.
Absolutely. You guys have a wonderful day. Okay, guys.
All right. You too, Barrett.
Good talking to you, Barrett.
Okay.
I'll tell you, Matt, I think you got tired of your arrogance there. But, all right, let's see. We got another caller.
Out of control, Mike. Out of control.
All right. We got another caller from a 262 area code. Caller, who are we talking to?
My name's Hector.
How you doing, Hector?
Hector.
Hey, how you doing, Matt?
Doing good. Hector is a Bears fan.
Barrett, what do you think of the Bears pick, Hector?
I'm just kind of confused. I get the pick. I just don't get trading up for him, giving up a future pick for him when I think he would have been there at 11 anyways.
Yeah, and if he's not there, Shaq Lawson's there, which is close to the same caliber of player. Yeah.
Yes. And I guess that's just, the Bears, through free agency, went out and got two linebackers. And for me as a Bear fan, I'm not totally satisfied with Lamar Houston and Willie Young coming off the ends. I would have loved to have seen Shaq Lawson on our team.
Well, Leonard Floyd can play outside backer also, though.
Yeah, and that's true. But like I said, I mean, I'll take the pick, but I personally would have loved to see Shaq Lawson on our team. You know.
All right, Hector. What's been the biggest surprise tonight in the draft for you?
It's probably that DeForest Buckner fell to the 49ers.
Yeah.
That was a shocker.
Yeah, and so that made Matt happy sitting there in front of his computer and his 49ers jersey.
Oh, yeah.
Are we home or away tonight, Matt?
Away.
I'm at home. Or away.
No, I'm talking to Matt with his jersey, home or away.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I have my away Ronnie Lott jersey on.
All right, so Hector, what do you think the New Orleans Saints are going to do with the next pick?
You know what? I have no idea. To be honest with you,
they're a hard team to get a hold on because as soon as you think they're going to try to upgrade their defense, they pick a wide receiver.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and they're probably going to do everything they can to help Drew Brees in his final couple of years. To just do what they can on offense.
Yeah, and I mean, if you go tackle now, if Tunsil's off the board because of the picture that was tweeted with him smoking marijuana, I mean, you still got guys like Jason Spriggs and Taylor Decker from Ohio State also.
Yes.
Yeah, and I mean, those guys are solid players also. But
yeah.
So the pick is almost in, Matt. Go ahead, Hector.
No, I was going to say, personally, that's where I'd like to see the Bears have gone. Go get a good tackle to protect Jay Cutler.
So do you think Jay Cutler's good enough to win the Bears a Super Bowl someday?
With some help. He's not one of them on his own, as far as talent. He's just
but he is a good quarterback. I think he's very underrated. I mean, you watch the Bears when he's not playing, it'll show you the difference.
Yeah.
Hey,
that's
Hector, what I want to know is, you're from Wisconsin. What are you doing being a Bears fan? Are you from Illinois?
Oh, yeah. My family is. My family moved to Wisconsin, and that's when I was born.
Oh, hey, it's not as bad as Matt, who lives in Wisconsin, as a 49ers fan, but the Saints pick is it.
Yeah, I know. Yes.
Well, it's a lot of us here. I ain't the only one.
Yeah. Well, my brother's a 49er
New Orleans
fan.
Saints, Sheldon Rankin. I think that's a good pick.
There you go.
That's
they win tackle. Yep.
D-line.
Defense. So,
I don't know why they just listed him on NFL Network as a defensive end, but I think he's more of a defensive tackle.
Yeah.
But I think it's a good pick. What do you think, Matt?
Oh, absolutely. I think he can be an anchor for that defensive line. They still have Cameron Jordan. If Jarius Byrd can be healthy, I think they still have Kenny Vaccaro back there. I think that's Vaccaro. That's at New Orleans.
Yeah, it is. They have Vaccaro.
They've got guys. They have talent on that defense. I don't know if it's scheme or what's been the problem, but they need to fix it. And it really starts up front. They got to have guys that can stop the run and get pressure on the quarterback. And I think Rankin's the guy that can really help them begin to stop the run.
All right, real quick, if anybody wants to call in, the call-in number is 323-870-4618. That's 323-870-4618. Aaron, what do you think of the selection?
D tackle or D end, whatever he is. Defensive line is a huge need, especially, like I said, with Will Smith passing here recently. What's interesting here, Miami's up, Mike, and then Oakland. Now, Oakland in past years has not had a problem taking character guys. Do you think Tunsil goes to Oakland?
I think it's possible. I mean, they could use offensive line help. So
that's what I think.
Right now, you talked about Miami being next. Where do you think Miami goes, Aaron?
Miami is another team. I could see them taking Doxson.
I think this is where Miles Jack goes.
Besides Landry. What's that?
I think this is where Miles Jack goes.
Could be, but I think they need more offensive weapons for Tannehill. He's got Landry and then the other young receiver, I forget his name right now, but I just don't think he has enough offensive weapons right now. I think they need to go with the receiver here, either Doxson or Treadwell.
Well, I think they need an offensive lineman. They're obviously nobody's taking Tunsil, but their O-line's bad too. I think this is Miles Jack here. What do you think, Matt?
I was just going to say the same thing. I really think this is where Miles Jack goes.
Right. Hector, what do you think? Even though you're a Bears fan, we'll keep talking to you.
Yeah, I would like to see them go Jeremy Tunsil because again, on offense, they do have Amari Cooper. Or are we talking about the Raiders, right? I remember we had said the Raiders.
No, we're talking about the Dolphins.
Oh,
yeah,
the
Dolphins are up right
okay,
now.
I'm totally sorry. You know what? I think they go offense, like you said, young wide receiver. Treadwell, possibly.
I say they go defense. I'm saying Miles Jack, or we go for cornerback maybe.
Well,
but
Apple was the guy that I thought was going to get. I really thought they were going to try to get Apple, but now that him and Hargraves are gone, I think they're going to go defense as well. I think they've got enough wide receivers. They could use a running back, but they could get him later. So I got to believe this Miles Jack. Miles Jack is falling now. They got to get him. Too good of a player.
But with that knee, man, it's taking a chance.
It's a risk, but it's a risk at 13 is not as rough to take as it is at number 3.
Yeah, that's true.
So I don't know. And Hector, you talked about Tunsil a little bit ago. You heard about the picture of him smoking marijuana.
Yeah.
Do you think that should affect him as much as it has?
Well, as they've been saying earlier, if you're going to build your franchise around a player, you definitely want to be sure about him. And if there's any question at all, I don't question at all any of these teams kind of passing on him.
Yeah, you agree with that, Aaron?
Absolutely. It's tough because why would you put yourself in that situation if you know that, you have a chance to be drafted in the top 5 or whatever his stock was before this? Why would you put yourself in that situation to cost yourself and your family all that money? I just don't get that.
Yeah. You agree with everybody here, Matt?
Oh, definitely.
And once again, everybody, you're listening to Grueling Truths Live NFL Draft Special. I want to thank everybody that's listening in. The numbers are good, Matt. So keep talking, Matt. We're getting to the part of the draft where they get the really good teams like the Bengals. We're getting past all these crappy teams like the Niners and the Bears and the Packers.
Yeah.
Pretty soon.
Yeah, we all win the same amount of
Whoa. Packers don't pick till 27.
Oh, why did they trade down? All right, here we go. The pick is in for the Miami Dolphins.
I have not seen what it is yet. I just can't. I couldn't.
Oh, wow.
I really got a hard time believing it's not Jack. Oh,
Miami Tunsil.
It's Tunsil. They got Tunsil. Okay.
I thought he'd fall one more to the Raiders, but yeah, it's a good pick for Miami. They need a left tackle as well.
Well, it's a good pick if they get him to quit smoking weed. Yeah, Oakland is up next at number 14.
Jeez, if they could get Miles Jack, holy.
I know, with Khalil Mack.
Alden Smith, Khalil Mack, and Bruce Irvin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Be the best
Jack
team in
and
the
Mack.
area.
They could just call their blitzes that.
Yeah.
Right.
Mack and Jack. All right, so what do you think Oakland's going to do, Matt?
Well, what does Oakland run a 3-4 or a 4-3? If they run a 3-4, I got to believe they're going Miles Jack here. They will have 4 or 5 really, really good linebackers.
Aaron?
I don't think they go linebacker if they have 3 already that they like. But, you're not going to spend a first-round pick on a linebacker if you're already okay there. I think they have enough need on defense. Charles Woodson, up there in age, I wouldn't be surprised with Joseph here.
Yeah, but I think they're more likely to go corner. I think they're weaker at corner than they are at safety.
That's true, but I don't think there's a corner out there that's as high of a value right now as the Joseph kid, and I think that's still a huge need. Woodson retiring, and who knows with Oakland? Who knows? I do know McKenzie's.
But I'll tell you this: I don't think there's a safety that's high enough to take at that pick either.
No, they could trade.
You don't have any. There is.
Who?
I said if you don't have any safeties, there are.
Yeah, but you're still using a 14 pick on it, where there's not too many safeties that are even considered late first-round picks in this.
Well, that Joseph kid is projected a top 20 pick.
By who?
By several mock drafts that I've looked at. Although they do have Nate Allen and Reggie Nelson, I guess. I'm just checking out their roster.
I just want to know why you're looking at mock drafts other than mine and Matt's.
Right.
So you're cheating on it.
I have to look at other ones so I can disagree with you, Mike.
Well, you know what? You learned from the Final Four this last year. You learned from the Final Four this year not to disagree with me because you failed miserably and I dominated you.
Yeah, this is the first year in a long time that I failed. I just want to point that out.
Hey, and real quick, I want to remind everybody, since Aaron's here, we got Mike and Aaron Sports World tomorrow night. If you want, we can do the show live.
That's fine.
Okay. Maybe we'll review the first round or something.
Be scared.
Huh?
I said you said that like I was going to be scared.
Oh, you will be when you find out what's going to happen on tomorrow night's show, but I'll just leave it at that. So everybody, make sure you listen in to see what happens there. I mean, maybe we'll have Hector the Bears fan on, because I know as soon as the Bears fan on, you got a little quieter. A little intimidated by a Bears fan, it sounded like.
That one Super Bowl in 1985 is not intimidating.
Thanksgiving Day might have been, though.
I was there, actually. I walked right by Brett Favre up in the boxes. I was in the company suite with my work, and I got about 4 feet from him, but he was surrounded by cops, so I couldn't ask him to get a picture.
Why not? You could have taken a picture with the cops, too.
I just took pictures of him.
Actually, if you would have asked him, he might have just texted you a nice picture.
Yeah, maybe that's why the cops were there.
Yeah, maybe the cops were there to keep him from texting. He's junk. So, Oakland Raiders, did we settle on anything here? Hector, what do you think? Real quick, who you got?
I think
Hector there. Did Hector leave? All right, Aaron, real quick, final answer. Oakland Raiders.
Carl Joseph, West Virginia.
Okay, Matt?
I'm going to go William Jackson, the corner out of Houston. I think that's otherwise they're trading out of this. Miles Jackson.
Yeah, I think it's the only corner left that you could pick at that high of a spot, and it would be worth it. Yeah. I'm going to go Miles Jack. You know, Shaq Lawson's still there too, though.
Yeah.
I think Miles Jack goes next.
You think Miles Jack goes where?
Cleveland next.
Cleveland next? I hope not, though. But they still won't have a quarterback or anything. Of course, they may take Lynch, too. I think Oakland.
Miles Jack will play quarterback.
Maybe he will. I mean, you could put him in the option and run the wing tee with him at quarterback.
You said he was a hell of a running back.
So, Aaron, when you were drafted in the NFL, what was your draft day like?
That's harsh. That's just harsh.
Why is it harsh?
Because I was never drafted in the NFL.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I had to kill some time there, though. I mean, everything slowed down.
Mike, why don't you tell us the story about how you almost tackled Emmitt Smith?
I almost did, but then I didn't, and it happened repeatedly. That's all that needs to be said. All right. And the bad thing was it was at a McDonald's like 3 weeks ago. So you think I could have got him, but I didn't get him. And see, I told you that quarterback, the cook for Michigan State, wasn't any good because Mel Kiper's got him as number one on his board.
Now.
So that proves that I'm right. Well, it's hard telling what Mel Kiper
pick
had
is
before.
in.
Yeah, they've been screwing around with it for a while, though.
I've got a trade rumor here. Looks like, according to Ian Rappaport, the Jets are trying to trade up.
Interesting. Well, here we go. We're going to find out because Roger Goodell.
Here comes Raj.
Waddle is up there with the 14th pick. The Oakland Raiders select
Carl Joseph.
Carl Joseph, you nailed it.
Good call. Good call.
It's the first time I've ever known him to be right. There we go. That's all right. I like to demean people when they do well. Matt can tell you that. All right. That brings us to Cleveland.
I just think that was their biggest need. With Woodson retiring, their other safeties are getting up there too. Reggie Nelson's been in the league 10 years. Nate Allen 7 years. I think that's a good pick.
All right, so now we got the Cleveland Browns, Matt. What do you think their biggest need is? Where do you think they'll go?
Boy, they have so many needs. This is going to be either Lawson or Miles Jack. I got a feeling it's Miles Jack. But then again, it's Cleveland. It could be Connor Cook.
Yeah.
I'm going to say they trade again.
I think they could.
I think they might trade this away and get more picks because they need so much. You know,
right.
if you get more picks, you're bound and determined to hit on some of them.
Yeah, and if you were to trade down to somebody right now, like I said, you could still possibly get a quarterback in the draft and have like 8 other picks left yet.
Right. I wouldn't be surprised if that's who the Jets are trading with.
Now, I'll tell you, there's another player here that nobody's talked about going there, and that would be Darren Lee, the outside linebacker from Ohio State.
Right.
I absolutely do not like Darren Lee in the first round,
I don't
period.
Either. We're not talking about whether we like him. It's the Cleveland Browns. Why would they pick somebody good?
They're going to stay away from him because of the fact he played in a 3-3-5. Now, don't get me wrong. I like Darren Lee as a player. I think he's athletic. He's a playmaker. He makes plays. But he's making plays in a 3-3-5, and nobody in the NFL plays that. So I think teams are going to steer away from him a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like Lee either. But like I said, we're talking Cleveland Browns. And they've done some stupid stuff before. So, Matt, what do you think they eventually do? What's your gut feeling if you had to pick one?
If I have to pick one, I'm going to go with Miles Jack.
Miles Jack?
He's the best player. Yeah, he's the best player available. Unless they're going to trade. If they're going to make a pick here, I think they got to just go with Miles Jack.
Now, the other thing you got to realize, if they're trading down, one other thing that they need badly is a big-time wide receiver.
Yeah. I think they can still get that by trading down further.
Yeah, I know. I think they may trade down further. It sounds like Aaron thinks they might. It sounds like you think it's possible.
I hear three teams are now calling. I hear the Falcons are calling, the Jets are calling, and even the Lions are looking to move up one. From what I'm reading.
That's the Lions. Nobody does it like the Lions. Everybody retires on their team within 5 years anyways, I think.
Right.
If you're the Lions, why would you trade up? You have a choice between, you could take one of the receivers that's there to replace Megatron. You could take Lawson. You could take Jack or whoever Cleveland doesn't pick or whoever trades up in front of you.
They can take Deron Reed or Vernon Butler and upgrade your defensive tackles also.
This is true.
I mean, because they have so many needs because they lose Fairley and Ndamukong Suh or whatever the hell his name is, the guy that doesn't work out with the team because he gets more out of working by himself. But so I don't know. We'll see what happens. So far tonight, everything's been a little whacked. Hopefully, we at least get to the Bengals before we go off air because it'd be a wasted show without the Bengals. But real quick, let's listen to Leon Searcy again.
All-Pro Leon Searcy. I've got a new interactive app called Gridiron Mode where you get to call the plays, offense or defense, and a live NFL game. You get to interact with other fans, pick the play, pick the call.
Hello, this is Roman Gabriel, and you are listening to the Grueling Truth.
All right, we're back with myself, Mike Goodpaster, Matt Andruscavage, Aaron Zepnick. We are live, NFL Draft Show. We are to pick number, what we got here, 15, the Cleveland Browns, correct, Matt?
Yep, that's correct.
Oh, my God. The Titans gave up their third-round pick this year and a second-round pick next year to the Browns to move up to get Jack Conklin.
7 spots, and they gave up, wow.
Number 3 this year and a number 2 next year.
And they get a 6th-round pick in return, but, I mean, that's a lot to take Jack Conklin.
There's a huge difference between a second and third round and a 6th round.
They may have gotten Conklin where they were.
Yeah. I mean, maybe they thought, Tunsil, instead of Miami taking Tunsil, maybe they would have taken Conklin because of everything that happened with him, though. It's the only thing I can think of.
It could be.
So, let's see. We got Cleveland, and we got Detroit.
I think now that they picked, I think it might be either Doxson or Treadwell. They do need another receiver.
Yeah, I think that's very possible. So, I mean, who do you think is the best receiver in this draft, Aaron?
I think it's Treadwell, actually.
Matt?
I don't know. I'm tied between Doxson and Treadwell. Treadwell seems to be a more physical receiver, while Doxson seems to be a speed guy, but maybe has the whole package.
Yeah. Actually, I like the kid from Baylor, too. I like all 3 of them. I like Will Fuller. I think there's 4 solid guys here. Here we go.
Corey Coleman.
Dang, they did that just because of the Bengals.
Baylor?
Yeah, the wide receiver from Baylor. I think he's solid. He's a big guy. He's got great hands.
Yeah.
What do you think,
Matt? We talked a little bit about him in our show last week, Mike, and I like him too, but I didn't think he would go this high. I thought he'd be a late, in the early 20s or 25, somewhere in there. I didn't think he'd go this early. I pegged the Vikings actually for taking him.
Yeah, I know the Bengals had worked him out more than once, so I know they were interested at some point also. Matt, what do you think of the pick?
I don't know that I like it. That isn't to say that he's going to be a bad player, but like you said, I think this was just too high. I think they could have traded down and got him later.
I don't think he could have, maybe. I don't know. I've heard there's a lot of teams that were interested, not necessarily that were definitely going to pick him, but I know there was a fair amount of interest there. Now we go to the Detroit Lions. What's you guys' opinion, Matt?
I think Shaq Lawson would be a really good pick for them because they need some more pass rush help to go with Ziggy Ansah. But Miles Jack would also be a really good pick because we just don't know what's going on with DeAndre Levy. I think either Lawson or Miles Jack here. We've been saying this now for a while, and it keeps not happening. But at some point, someone's got to take these 2 guys. They're just too good.
All right. What do you think?
Well, the pick's in already, so Detroit likes somebody. The pick being in that early tells me it's one of those 2 guys.
Could also be a trade.
Yeah.
I don't see Detroit this way. They need an impact player right away, especially like Matt said with not knowing what's going on with Levy. I hope it's not Jack, but I have a feeling it is.
Yeah, I know, because I like Jack, but he's definitely got knee issues if Detroit picks him.
Yeah, everybody's saying on Twitter how, wow, the Lions definitely like somebody.
This also could be Doxton, too.
Well, they got Marvin Jones and Golden Tate.
Yeah, they're not too bad. They're weaker at a lot of other positions. But, I mean, if you were to throw a big-time number 1, because, Golden Tate and Marvin Jones are your 2 and your 3, so they still need a 1. But
well, isn't this Marvin Jones' chance to prove, like what you were saying, Mike, that he really is a 1?
Yeah, but he's not. I watched him long enough. He's not a number 1. He's a really good receiver.
That he was.
No, He'd be a number one for the San Francisco 49ers. Hell, he'd be a 1 and a 2 for the Niners. My dog would be a number one for the Niners, but we won't go there. Oh, I think I already did. But let's see. The Lions says the pick's in.
Nothing yet. Yep, nothing yet.
This could be Lawson, too. I don't understand what's going on with Lawson. I got to take a 5, though, Mike. I'll be right back.
All righty. All right,
what's
Matt,
your
what
gut
do you
here,
think?
Mike?
I don't have a gut with Detroit. My gut with
I'm
Detroit
going to go with Shaq Lawson.
It would make sense. I'm going to go with Jerron Reed from Alabama. I think they have a bigger lead at defensive line than anything else.
Wasn't that where Shaq Lawson's at? Isn't he a defensive end?
Yeah, they both were. Oh, Shaq Lawson's Clemson.
Yeah.
Jerron Reed was Alabama.
No, but I meant, aren't they both defensive ends?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know
Taylor
what?
Decker.
The fact that they...
Taylor Decker.
Wow.
That is a surprise. I don't see Taylor Decker being that high of a pick. I know some people had him going even higher than that. And, I mean, the other thing is, with the run early on the tackles, if you wanted to tackle, you're going to have to get him quick. Next up, we got the Atlanta Falcons. I think Atlanta goes Andrew Billings. I think they go Jonathan Bullard, Shaq Lawson, or Darren Lee. I would say that they're going Darren Lee. I think it's a bad pick, but I think that's where they're going to go.
Well, Darren Lee
is
who they seem to have been I think Darren Lee is who they've been tied to for a long time. But, you know, I think they'd be all right there. But, boy, you know, this might be a really good time to get Miles Jack.
It's always a good time to get Miles Jack, but nobody's taking him.
Yeah. I mean, well, it's got to be Lawson Jack or a guy like Darren Lee. I mean, they've been tied to him. Dan Quinn is a defensive guy, and they definitely need to continue to upgrade this defense. So, I don't know. I mean, the fact that Lawson and Jack keep falling, maybe it's going to be Darren Lee.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't think Darren Lee is near as good a pick. And Atlanta's defense was much better last year. I think they're a lot tougher team now than what they were before under Mike Smith. I don't think there's any doubt about that.
Sorry, Mike.
You're all right, Aaron.
No problem.
That Decker pick doesn't make sense to me. I'm sorry.
No.
So go ahead and talk a little bit about it. Give us your opinion.
I think he takes plays off. I don't think he was even. I don't think he's a first-round pick, honestly. There's so many more impact players you can get there, and I think that's a reach.
Yeah, but you know how they are. When you get a run on guys, everybody else freaks out, and they go ahead and jump and take one when they probably shouldn't.
The only way I could describe that. I'm happy. They're in our division.
Well, the Vikings are the king of your division anyways. Correct? They did win the division last year.
Yeah, right now I think the Vikings are going to be tough to beat, especially if they get Doxson or Treadwell.
Yeah, or Fuller. Any of those guys. I mean, what's your opinion of Will Fuller from Notre Dame, Matt?
To be honest
I know a lot
with
of
you,
people say a lot of things that aren't great about him, but
I don't really have an opinion on him. I have not done the research on him, I'll be honest.
Then how'd you do a mock draft today, Matt?
I didn't have him in there.
I'm just kidding. You didn't have him in the first round? I didn't even notice.
No.
But what's your opinion of Will Fuller, Aaron?
He's a solid guy. I think he'd be a good pick for Atlanta. The other guy that Doxson's a speedy guy. They got Julio Jones and they got Mohamed Sanu now. So they got the taller, the bigger red zone targets, but they need a little Wes Welker type receiver or a little slot guy, I think Doxson would be a good pick for Atlanta here.
I think he would too. They got Mohamed Sanu though, which should help them out there. I don't know. What do you think their need for a wide receiver is in Atlanta, Matt?
Well, like you said, I do think I would agree that having a slot guy underneath would really help. Sanu's a very good receiver, as you know, Mike. Julio Jones is a beast. I think they're okay at receiver. I think they can get someone like that later. I think they got to continue to build the defense. Dan Quinn is real good on defense, and they improved last year, but I think they still need a little bit more. A Miles Jack, a Darren Lee, or a Shaq Lawson here, I think would be really, really helpful to them.
Yeah. So let's look ahead. All right, we got the Packers. What do you think the Packers are going to end up doing in this draft, Aaron?
Well, if Jack stays there, I could see them trading up here real shortly to take him. We need an inside linebacker very badly. And, they got Sam Barrington coming back off an injury, and they picked Jake Ryan from Michigan last year. Who knows? Who knows with Ted Thompson?
Do you think the Packers need a wide receiver?
No, absolutely not. They have Randall Cobb, Jordy Nelson coming back. They have Devontae Adams, who I think is going to have a breakout year. They have Ty Montgomery, who got injured early last year, coming back. Aberdarius and Janis both did nice things in the late in the season. I think they're more than fine at wide receiver, and now they got Jared Cook to stretch the middle of the field a little bit. It's either got to be D-tackle the Robinson from Alabama, or either a Jack, or if he falls that far, or if they trade up, or a Reggie Ragland.
Okay, here we go. Keanu Neal, he's a safety out of Florida.
This guy,
I think he's the best safety. I think he's the best safety in the draft also. No matter. What do you think about that, Aaron? I know you like the other guy, but...
Well, I like that Joseph kid, obviously, but he was already gone. Atlanta does need a safety. That's a good pick. I would have liked to have seen him throw another weapon to Matt Ryan, but if you can't stop anybody, you can't outscore everybody. So, it's not a bad pick at all.
Well, and they still got Julio Jones and Devonta Freeman. I mean, they're still pretty loaded on offense. What do you think about the pick, Matt?
I think it's a good pick. I think that they continue to build the defense. I don't know that Atlanta's secondary is where they want it to be. I think this will definitely help the secondary. He's definitely one of the top two safeties. But and I think there's still a lot of time to continue to build that defense. I don't think this was a bad pick at all.
All right, now we're going to go to a team that has a lot of needs, I think. That's the Indianapolis Colts, who are picking number 18. Matt, you want to start us off with the Colts?
Sure. The Colts really need an offensive tackle, but I think with Taylor Decker being gone, and maybe this is why Detroit did this, because he would not have lasted to the end of the first round. But they also need a lot on defense here. I could see them going Vernon Butler. I could see them going Shaq Lawson, obviously Miles Jack. There's been talk about Noah Spence. Leonard Floyd would be a good pick here. Reggie Ragland would be a good pick here. Anybody in the front seven, I think, would be a really good pick for Indianapolis. I don't know that offensive line is at this point right here. I think they could actually get someone in the second round of offensive line. So I think they go defense.
It'd be tough to pick Leonard Floyd because the Bears picked him.
Yeah.
Did I say Leonard Floyd?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean that. I meant Shaq Lawson.
That's all right. It's your first mistake in 2 hours. That's not too bad.
Sorry, Matt. I had to point it out.
Not
He's
a problem.
He's going to be like, Mike, don't ever bring this guy on again.
I would not bring up anything to embarrass somebody live on air, though. I can tell you that. That was just Bush League, Aaron.
Oh, you've never, ever. Okay.
I've never went out of my way to embarrass anybody. Have I, Matt?
Out of your way? Well,
yeah.
I'd have to really think about it, but you have shown restraint as of late, so I'll give that to you.
Well, there you go. I've shown restraint.
The last half hour, he's ripped on me about the Final Four and how he was right and I was wrong. Come on.
Yeah,
don't
but
give
see,
that.
you know what? If you don't want me to rip on you about me being right and you being wrong, don't be wrong.
It's like saying there's no right
Aaron.
or wrong answer, but if you're wrong, we'll tell you.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the way it is. But we got the Colts coming up next. If I'm them, I take Ryan Kelly. They need a center. I mean, the center's the most important part of the team. I don't care if you got Andrew Luck or not. If Andrew Luck doesn't get the ball, then it don't matter. So I would say that I would go that way. I would go with Ryan. I mean, they could use defensive line help.
They really need defense.
Shaq Lawson's still out there too, right?
Yeah, I think Shaq.
If I said the guy from the Bears, that's what I meant was Shaq Lawson.
Sorry, all right. They're all like their defensive linemen. All right, here we go. The Colts selection is in.
That was quick. Let's see what we got here.
I'm the smartest man in the world. Ryan Kelly, Alabama.
I can't even tell you who their center was.
We know it wasn't Jeff Saturday.
No, not for a few years now.
It's not.
You guys had Jeff Saturday more recently than they have.
Yeah, the Packers had Jeff Saturday before he retired.
All right, that brings us to Buffalo, which could be very interesting. Where do you see? What do you think Buffalo needs, Matt? Where do you think they'll go?
I think they need help at linebacker. I had them taking Ragland, but with Miles Jack out there, I don't know how they don't take him. I think they've got to take Miles Jack here, but there must be such a concern about his knee that he's falling this far. So they could use help on the outside linebacker, inside linebacker. Originally I had him taking Ragland, but man, Shaq Lawson's available. You got Darren Lee's out there, Noah Spence is out there, and Reggie Ragland. Boy.
But Noah Spence. I mean, I think there's more questions about Noah Spence than there are about Miles Jack's knee.
Right. I'm going to go either Darren Lee or Miles Jack here.
Yeah, because the Bills, weren't they running with linebacker? Weren't they running with Manny Lawson at linebacker?
Yeah, they've just been okay at linebacker. They haven't been great.
Yeah, and I think
really
they had
need to
Nigel
upgrade.
Bradham. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Bradham, I think, left and went to the Eagles. I think this has to be. Ragland or Jack. But the problem is,
they need someone
Jack's
in the
an
middle.
outside linebacker. Ragland, I think, fills a more immediate need. And, I mean, you've still got Jaron Reed, who I think they like, the defensive tackle from Alabama. And it's been reported that they like Darren Lee, which I'm not a big Darren Lee fan, but I think it's been established that nobody on here is a big Darren Lee fan. But
yeah, this
Aaron,
is true.
Does your team have a game this weekend?
No, we're off this week.
All right, then we're not going to talk about that because there's nothing to talk about. But you won your first game, right?
Yes, sir. We won our opener, our non-league exhibition preseason game, whatever you want to call it, 31-6. Played sloppy, but we still played okay, I guess. I wouldn't say we dominated by any means. Left a lot of points out there on the field. So.
All right. Now, I want to remind people, coming up tomorrow night, we got Mike and Aaron Sports World. I'm sure we'll be talking to draft. We'll go ahead and do that show live. You can call in on this number also. Next week, what we got next week, Matt? I haven't scheduled anything for next week yet. We do have one thing scheduled. Thursday night, we'll have the Inside Boxing Weekly show where we review the fights from this weekend coming up, and we'll preview the fights for the next weekend. We will actually have former welterweight champion of the world Kermit Cintron on our show Thursday night. right after his weigh-in for his comeback fight Friday night, which I think is on NBC Sports or NBC Sports World, one of those channels. So we'll have Kermit Cintron on then. And also our sponsor, Gridiron Mo. We will have the Super Bowl Trivia Show, which Aaron keeps skipping out on, so me and Matt don't beat him because me and Matt always win. Whether it's just me and Matt by ourselves. And Matt's actually won the last 2 weeks, but I got the Sportsmanship Award last night because I could have tied and forced it overtime, but I admitted that I said the wrong score on a game.
That is all.
And see, Matt won't even give me credit for it. Matt just lets it go. Matt's just quiet.
That is not true. I was just talking. And there must be a delay because you must not have heard me. I was just cutting in and saying I thought that was very kind of you, Mike, and I was going to give you props for it.
Almost angelic is what you called it yesterday when we talked to each other, right?
Angelic. Unexpected.
Same thing. Whatever. Once again, if anybody wants to call in, the call-in number is 323-870-4618. 323-870-4618. Let's check out a word from Gridiron Mo real quick, and we will be back with the pick.
All-Pro Leon Searcy. I've got a new interactive app called Gridiron Mo, where you get to call the plays, offense or defense, and a live NFL game. You get to interact with other fans, pick the play, pick the call. That's great.
Hi, this is Dan Pastorini, and you're listening to The Grilling Truth.
All right, we're back with the Buffalo Bills selection.
What do you guys think?
Shaq Lawson is who they picked. I believe Matt got that one, didn't he?
Did they take Shaq Lawson?
Yep. Yeah, they took Shaq Lawson.
Okay, I did not see that.
Okay,
Awesome.
so we still got Miles Jack sitting out there, and we're at pick number 20.
Wow. Maybe the Jets. Do the Jets take Paxton Lynch here?
That's what I had before, but it would make sense to me. I think he's going to be a good player. So I don't know. What do you think the Jets are going to do, Aaron?
Paxton Lynch wouldn't surprise me, but I think they need a lot of help in other areas. I think they may go with the D tackle from Alabama, the Robinson. It all depends, again, who they feel is the best player available.
Well, I mean, another guy I think you could throw out there is Treadwell, one of the receivers. I mean, they could put somebody opposite of Brandon Marshall with Eric Decker and Devin Smith. I mean, that would make life a lot easier on Fitzpatrick if they sign him. If they're not planning on signing him, I could see him going there. Another guy that I think they like, who I think looks a lot like Muhammad Wilkerson, and I think Wilkerson is likely to leave the Jets soon, is Vernon Butler from Louisiana Tech. What do you think, Matt?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Vernon Butler is who I had in my mock draft. I think that would definitely be a good pick for them. We don't know what's going on with Wilkerson. I think they need a quarterback, but they may be able to address that later. And plus, Fitzpatrick's probably coming back at some point. And I'm sure they're going to make that happen. So, yeah, I mean, Vernon Butler would be really good. I don't know what their linebacker situation's like. You got Ragland out there. You got, obviously, Miles Jack and Darren Lee as well.
Yeah, I think that Miles Jack fits their need. I think they need more of an outside linebacker pass rusher than they do an inside linebacker.
Yeah.
And, I mean, they still need another offensive tackle, a guy like Jason Spriggs maybe from Indiana, who I still say 2 or 3 years from now may be the best tackle out of all of these guys. I think he's a little bit greener than the other guys right now. You also got Jerron Reed still, the defensive tackle that's out there. William Jackson, the cornerback. I think they're sitting pretty decent at cornerback, though. I don't know, though. I mean, the Jets had a pretty good season last year. I mean, do you think they could be a playoff team with Ryan Fitzpatrick, Matt?
Yeah, I do. I think they were very close last year. They have a good defense. I think they got a good coach. It depends on what they are able to do at running back. I don't know exactly. I don't remember what their running game is besides Powell. They got Matt Forte. So they got Forte and Powell if Fitzpatrick can stay healthy, they can keep him upright, and that's going to be a little tougher this year if they're without DeBrickshaw Ferguson. But if they keep him healthy, I think they've got enough offensively and defensively to be a playoff team.
All right.
They actually have three other running backs. I was going to say, I know they won't go running back. They have Forte, they have Kyrie Robinson, they have Zach Stacy, and they have Bilal Powell.
Oh, yeah, Kyrie Robinson, that's right.
So I don't see him going running back here for sure.
No.
Paxton Lynch makes sense. Otherwise, I think it's that D-tackle, Sean Robinson from Alabama.
I think if they go D-tackle, it should be Vernon Butler. I think he's the better player, and he comes with less baggage, which is the main thing. Actually, I think Sean's a better defensive lineman, but I don't think there's any questions with Butler, where I think there's some questions with Robinson. But,
yeah, I hadn't heard any of that stuff, so I'm just going off of pure, just watching college football and listening to the local radio station here every morning.
Yeah. So, do you think Paxton Lynch is a reach at this pick, Matt?
No, I don't know that it's a reach. I think that he's probably the best quarterback available at this point. They definitely have a need, and getting him, I may give him leverage with Fitzpatrick. Patrick has threatened to retire. I don't know how serious that is, but I don't know that it would be a reach here. I think there's enough people that I think Lynch is a good quarterback, and maybe the Jets do as well.
Now, if you're going to get rid of, or if you're going to pick up Lynch, do you get rid of Geno?
Well, I don't know that Geno's really in their plans, anyways. I just don't know that they believe in him.
Yeah, well,
I think they almost get rid of him just to free up that cap space. But my point is with Paxton Lynch, if the Rams and Philly give away that much to move up to 1 and 2 to take Goff and Wentz, I absolutely think it's a good pick for the Jets to take Paxton Lynch, regardless of what's going to happen with Fitzpatrick. He's not a spring chicken anymore.
Yeah, the great thing is if you can keep Fitzpatrick there, that's a very intelligent quarterback that could really help out a young quarterback like Lynch.
Right. It just makes sense.
Yeah, it made sense to me this morning because that's what I put on my final mock draft. But they probably won't do it, but that's what I would do if I was them. And the Jets have selected a defensive player with the last 7 first-round picks. Did you know that, Aaron?
I did because I just saw it on the banner.
Well, I'm not even watching TV. It just popped into my head. That's what my producer told me.
Oh, okay. The pick is in.
All right, here we go.
I love Paxton Lynch, by the way. Not in a, weird way either. I like to watch him play. I think he's going to be a good quarterback. And actually, until I watched a lot of film on him, I was not real impressed until I watched a complete game. And just his body language, if this makes any sense to you, Aaron, his body language is that of a quarterback.
Absolutely.
It's just like if you're playing a game, whether you're coaching a high school game, a college game, a pro game, when the other team walks on the field, you can usually tell, even if they don't have their jerseys on, you can tell who the quarterback is by the way he carries himself. And Paxton Lynch is like that. I think Goff's not so much like that. I think Wentz is like that. And I know that Dexter Carter was on earlier and said that Connor Cook was a guy that he liked, but I don't think Connor Cook's going to last very long in the NFL. I'm not a big
fan of Connor Cook either. I think he's a product of a system. I think he's a guy that would be very hard pressed to pick up the speed difference in the NFL. I think he is a guy that would be middle of the road at best quarterback. I don't think he's what you want to build your franchise around.
Yeah, I don't either. There's too much question. And, I mean, everybody thinks it's funny when they bring it up, but a quarterback in his senior year that's not a captain has to worry people. All right, the Jets pick this. Darren Lee.
Yep, Darren Lee. Interesting.
I don't know about that one, guys. As you said, the 3-3-5 is not conducive to pro-style defense. So, Aaron, you want to speak about him a little bit?
Again, he's a playmaking guy, so I guess if you're looking at sheer athletic ability, I don't know his numbers from the combine, but people started raving about him, and then there was people that were knocking the fact that he came out of a 3-3-5. But, I mean, if you're a guy that can run and you're a guy that can get after the ball, who knows? Maybe they make him a downhill safety. I don't know.
You think he's got the speed to play safety? Yeah, he looks like he's got the speed to play safety.
He just doesn't look like a linebacker to me. He looks like more of a strong safety that plays up around the line and run situations, and he's an undersized linebacker. He's only like 225, 230 at the most, and I just think if I'm an offensive coordinator and I have a stud left side of my line, he's on the right side of the defense on my left side, I can probably run at him. You know, that's what I'm thinking is we're going to run right at him and not let his speed be his strength and let his undersize be his weakness. NFL coaches, I mean, these guys are going to exploit that.
All right, what do you think, Matt?
Well, I don't really have a major opinion about it. I think the Jets have a really good defense to begin with, but like you said, when I did see a picture of him, he looks. I thought he was a defensive back. He doesn't look like. He doesn't look like a very the kind of guy that could be an outside linebacker who's a pass rusher.
Yeah, my question is this:
if
John Gruden never saw a player that got drafted that he wasn't excited about?
And
I bet he was a bitch to work with during the draft in Tampa Bay and Oakland. Hey, let's pick this guy. All right. Let's pick this guy. All right.
Remember when he was all excited about Frank Zombo?
Huh?
Remember when he was all excited about Frank Zombo?
Yep. I don't even remember. Frank Zombo? I don't even remember Frank Zombo.
He was a defensive player for the Packers, and Gruden would he just liked the name. He's like Madden that way. Like Jerry Bush, he used to always talk about names and stuff, and I guess maybe that's where I got it from.
So we got Washington next, correct?
I will say this, though, about Darren Lee. I can't believe he's off the board over Ragland and Jack.
Miles Jack is still here.
Maybe
I'm getting excited because the Packers are up in 6 picks. If he falls to the Packers, Ted Thompson his MO is to take walking medical charts. So I'll guarantee it right now. If Miles Jack is at 27, Ted Thompson will take him.
The Redskins have traded.
Hopefully to the Green Bay.
The Redskins traded their pick with Houston. They were right behind them.
They're just switching spots.
Houston must be concerned about a receiver.
Boy, Treadwell and Hopkins together.
Yeah, Treadwell and Hopkins, Fuller and Hopkins, Doxson and Hopkins.
They're going to get Doxson. Doxson and Hopkins would be crazy.
Wow.
I'll tell you what, I think Doxson and A.J. Green would be even better.
The Redskins get a 2017 6th-rounder to move up that one spot, or to trade back.
Well, the Redskins must not really wanted anybody there anyways then.
Right. Might as well get a pick.
Either that or they both want a wide receiver, and Washington doesn't care which one they get. Houston does.
Yeah.
That sounds likely.
So I think Houston takes William Fuller.
really, over a receiver, huh?
Yeah, I think William Fuller is a receiver, but I would say possibly somebody like a Hunter Henry, but I don't think they would trade up one spot because I don't think Washington's taking Hunter Henry because they're pretty solid at tight end.
Yeah, I don't see how you pass on Doxson or Treadwell and take Fuller. I think Fuller's the third best guy there.
I don't, but I don't know why you don't like him. You just don't like Notre Dame people.
I do actually. I'm not opposed to Notre Dame people at all. I don't think he's a better NFL receiver than Treadwell or Doxson.
We'll see. I like Treadwell a lot too. I like Doxson. I mean, I like all three of them. I think all three of them will be good players, and I think Coleman will too.
When do the Bengals pick, Mike?
In a couple picks, but here you go, Matt. Aaron Zepnik, whoever he is, just posted he's on a live draft show with Mike Goodpaster and Matt, Andruscavich.
Wow.
You missed really bad on that one, Aaron.
I'm not friends with him, so I think it auto-corrected me, too.
Oh, so you don't like him?
I'm just not friends with him yet.
Why not? He's a nice guy.
What is the last name, anyway?
Andruscavage.
So I was close.
Well, not really, but all right.
It may look like you were close.
There we go, Andruscavage. Okay.
When you say it, it may sound like you were close. But overall...
To tell you the truth, I have not looked at his name ever. I just heard you say it and typed the words.
So you just don't like him. All right. Maybe someday you guys will be friends.
Just friend requested him.
Telling me. Huh?
I just friend requested him now, so I know how to spell his name now.
Okay. All right, here we go. Will Fuller, I'm right again. That's twice tonight. There you go, boys. I like him, even though nobody else does. Except
Will Fuller. Wow.
All right, we got Washington next.
Yeah, good call on that one, Mike. I don't think he's better than the other two that are there, but that's good. Maybe I don't like that. That means Minnesota's probably going to get one of them.
Huh. Somebody named John Lampy said that he'd rather watch NFL Network.
He's one of my players.
You need to text him and tell him to call in and explain to us why he'd rather listen to Mel Kiper than you, Aaron.
323. What's the number again, Mike? 870.
I don't know. Hold on, and I'll tell you. We got a caller on the line here. All right, welcome, caller. Who are we talking to?
It's Alex Gray again. How you doing?
Hey, what's up, Alex? The number, real quick, guys, for anybody listening in, the number is 323-870-4618. Now, Alex, I've got to ask you one question here, buddy. Were you watching and listening to the NFL thing, or were you listening to us and watching them?
I was back and forth.
Back and forth.
I've had the mute. Mine's been in I've had the NFL Network on mute, All
right, that's the way it should be. There you go.
As it should be. That's good.
So, what do you think Washington's going to do here, Alex?
Oh, man, it's really hard to say. I called in also because of the Bengal pick, but with Washington...
we'll get to that. We got a couple picks to go. Hopefully they pick before we go off the air. Because we got to go off at 11, because Blog Talk only lets you have 3 hours.
Yeah. Boy, I guess Washington could go with Treadwell. I also thought maybe Treadwell would end up in Cincinnati, or maybe Doxson. I could see Treadwell going off in the next 1 or 2, 3 picks.
Well, don't be surprised if the Bengals go with a defensive lineman.
Yeah,
I'll tell you this. I would love to see Miles Jack here, on one side and Vontaze Perfect on the other.
Oh, yeah. Jack is a really good linebacker once he's all healthy again. So.
Yeah. So, what's been your biggest surprise tonight, Alex, since you last called in?
The Jets, I thought they'd take Paxton Lynch because of the whole thing with Fitzpatrick. I thought Cleveland could take Paxton, but they took a receiver, so they're sticking with RG3, it looks like, or maybe they may like another quarterback in the draft. I don't know. I don't know what's shocking, but 5 Ohio State players taken already. Wow, that's incredible. That's crazy in my opinion.
Yep.
So,
but I think that Darren Lee is highly questionable that high.
Yeah, that was interesting. I was kind of surprised by that.
Yeah, as Aaron brought up, and me and Matt were talking when they showed it, he's built like a defensive back. That's what he looks like.
Mm-hmm.
He's a small guy. But all right, so who we got coming up, Matt? Washington?
Yep. Washington. I think.
All right, what do you think Washington's going to do, man?
I think defensive line is a big need for them. They got a lot of options here. Vernon Butler would be a good pick. There's. Oh boy, you still got. I don't know how they're sitting at corner. I think there's at least a couple of corners out there that could help them. Obviously, Miles Jack. I think he could help just about anybody. I don't know. What do you guys think of Vernon Butler or Sean Robinson here?
I think the two best here are Jaron Reed from Alabama, or Jerron Reed from Alabama, and Vernon Butler. I think of Sean Robinson, like I said, there are some questions character-wise there. Aaron, what do you think?
I think Butler makes sense here, but Miles Jack's still there. I can't believe that.
Crazy.
Again, like you said, though, did Washington say, well, we don't really care what receiver we get. We like all three of these guys. Here, you take one, and then that gives us a coin flip, Sometimes
there is a difference in the receivers. The difference to me is I don't think Treadwell's much of a deep threat. I think Fuller, the reason they take him is because I think he's the best guy to stretch the field outside of the kid from Baylor that already got drafted at 15. Dotson, I think, can stretch the field. It's according to what you're looking for. Treadwell is a big guy who's a big physical guy, be great in the red zone. So I don't know. I think the Redskins either go with one of the wide receivers or they're going to take a defensive lineman.
I think they'll go the same. I think the same thing. Which Alabama D lineman do you like the best? Is it Jerron Reed or is it Ashawn Robinson? Or
I like Reed just because there's not as much question about him off the field.
True, and character issues are very important when it comes to this stage, as Barret Robbins pointed out before.
Yeah. So let's see. The pick is in. They need to get it in here so we can get to the Bengals, because it looks like we'll finish up with the Bengals as the last team picking in the real draft. That's the way it should be. The Bengals picking last. Ain't that right, Alex?
Heck yeah. They're a really good team.
Got the 21st. Yeah, the Redskins got a number 6 in 2017.
Yeah.
Here we go.
All right,
Roger.
Well, here's the pick.
Ooh. Josh Doctson.
That's who the Bengals wanted.
Yep, Josh Doctson.
Yeah.
Well, he's won it.
Well, then.
I would not be surprised if the Bengals take a defensive line. Remember that.
That's an interesting
pick. So you got Dawson
now...
gone. You got Fuller gone. So right now, you've got Sterling Shepard and you've got Treadwell as wide receivers if the Vikings go that way. And I'll still tell you, I think this. I think that Vernon Butler's a perfect fit for Zimmer's defense in Minnesota. Mm-hmm. But I think if they don't take Vernon Butler, I think the Bengals take Vernon Butler, Alex.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see Vernon Butler going to Cincinnati.
So what do you think about the Dotson pick, Aaron?
I like it. I can't believe he lasted to 21. Or 22, I'm sorry, and
23.
I think
22. I'm kidding.
I think he he and Treadwell were my top two receivers. The guy's got the full package. He's explosive. He can stretch a defense, and he can also run the underneath intermediate routes across the middle. He's not afraid to do that. I think Treadwell's going to Minnesota.
All right, Matt, what's your opinion on the pick and what Minnesota will do?
I like the pick. Yeah, this kid's very talented. They've already got good receivers over in Washington. I think he just makes I think he makes the team even better. Pierre Garçon. I think obviously Jordan Reed is really good. They've got guys, and he's just another weapon to throw to. I agree. I think Treadwell's going to Minnesota. Although, gosh, when is Miles Jack going to get taken? I mean, this is crazy.
27. Still think he'd look good with Vontez Perfect.
I think so. I'm really scared Seattle's going to take him.
And
I'm very nervous Seattle's going to take him because he would fill in for Bruce Irvin. And
all right, now here's an interesting guy that nobody's brought up yet, and I have a hard time saying his name, but he's a defensive lineman from Mississippi State. His name is Robert Nkemdiche. Anybody know what I'm talking about?
I've seen. I've seen.
Yeah, he's the guy that I think got drunk or something and jumped out of his hotel window in like November. But I think I think it's possible that he is the best defensive lineman in this draft, and I think somebody's going to get a steal here in the next 10 picks.
Do you think it could be Cincinnati?
I think it could. I think Vernon Butler could. I mean, I don't see that the Bengals, everybody says, has this humongous need for wide receivers, but you've got two guys that at any time can go down and catch a 50-yard touchdown pass. It just happens to be one of them's our tight end.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got A.J. Green, you've got Tyler Eifert, you got two solid running backs, you got a decent offensive line, you've got a very good quarterback. I mean,
and a good back.
And the thing is this: you can get a wide receiver in the second or third round that's going to be pretty good, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
So I mean, I don't see the need to overreach at wide receiver. I think the good thing with the Bengals is there's no tremendous weakness on the team at all. So they're basically drafting for depth wherever they draft, except for center. I mean, I would love to see them take Martin, a Notre Dame center, just because I think the one weakness on the team, which is a big weakness to have, is at center. And I would like to see them get him out of here, but I don't think that's going to happen. And the other thing is this, though. He's a center, which a center has to do a lot more than most people think. Especially in the NFL, he's got to make line calls, everything else. Most centers, even the really good ones, don't really turn into being a really great center until their third, fourth, fifth year anyways because of the adjustment to basically calling the fronts against the defense, their NFL defense. I mean, what's your take on that, Aaron?
I don't know. I'm just right now. I'm waiting to see who Minnesota picks, and I could care less about Cincinnati. They're in the AFC.
Well, that's good because nobody really cares about the NFC Central. So there's a bunch of bad teams last year fighting over a division crown.
Last year.
Yeah. This year it'll be one good team in the Vikings
this year.
and Aaron Rodgers. Hey, dude, you don't have to worry about being anything great. You got Mike McCarthy coaching you, so he'll figure out a way to screw it up like he did 2 years ago.
I think Minnesota's going to take Treadwell, and I think Cincinnati's going to get Miles Jack, and you're going to just be happy.
I would be. That won't happen, but I hope it does.
I don't think you guys are going to take Miles Jack. I think you guys are really set at linebacker.
I'll tell you, though, the Bengals are a team that historically over the last 6 years is just taking literally the best player available.
They just had an interesting stat on the banner again, Mike. 6 receiving TDs by wide receivers last year for Minnesota, fewest in the NFL.
Yeah. It surprises me they had that many.
That means Kansas City had more.
Yeah, Kansas City didn't have more, I don't think. Kansas City didn't have one.
Yeah, they did. No.
Jimmy Macklin had a decent year, actually. It was the year
Green
before
Bay.
Kansas City didn't have many.
No, they didn't have many this year either. Look it up, Matt.
They didn't have a lot.
I think Macklin had like 9 or 10 himself.
No.
Yeah, Macklin ended up having a good year last year.
He didn't have 10, though, did he?
10 might be a little high. But I think he had.
Well, they're showing Treadwell on
6.
here. I don't know if that means anything or not, but.
I'm almost taught they've got to be taking.
Oh, here we go, Jay Gruden.
Treadwell.
Treadwell's a heck of a receiver. I love every player on here. They're all great.
I'm telling you, this kid's going to be special.
Yeah.
All right, here comes the selection.
And then we'll get to the real team.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, and four picks after this.
No, we won't, because it'll be over by then. For us.
We got 15 minutes, don't we?
Laquan Treadwell.
Yep, Treadwell.
Yes. That means we can get what I want. They won't.
Who do you want again?
I want Miles Jack or Vernon Butler. I would settle for Andrew Billings too from Baylor.
Yeah.
But Miles Jack's still there.
Yeah, Miles Jack.
I mean, I'll tell you what. If they pick Miles Jack, I'm going to shave my head.
Now I know they won't do it.
Why? My head's already
I'm
shaved.
not that lucky.
You know what, Matt? I've known you for like a decade, but I've met Alex before, and I've met Aaron.
Yeah,
that is crazy.
And Aaron lives farther away from you than you do.
That is weird.
Yep. See, Aaron didn't mind coming to see me, but you won't.
Oh,
Well,
I tried
came to
4 years ago.
Actually, hold on. You came to see me.
I didn't come to see you, but
you didn't have a choice at the time.
I got free food and beer, though, so it was all right. In Green Bay, I mean, it's like almost tropical in November.
Yeah.
All right, so wide receiver-wise, who's the best guy left then? Sterling Shepard?
Shepard, yeah.
Yeah,
I don't think there's any doubt.
Yeah, the Bengals aren't going there then. They're going defensive line, I think, or possibly Miles Jack. And I still, Robert Nkemdiche, or whatever his name is, I would like to have him. And the Bengals have taken guys like him before, like Vontaze Burfict. It's worked out fine.
Yep. You guys have no problem.
So what do you think, Alex? What do you want to see him do?
The Robert guy from Mississippi State or Miles Jack.
I also like Vernon Butler a lot because he could, because let's face it, Pecco's not getting any younger, so.
Yeah, sadly. Praise to the fat man.
He ain't that fat. He was at our practice Saturday. Didn't you see him there? Or that was last Saturday, wasn't it?
Well,
yeah, he don't look near as big in person as he does on TV.
Huh. Okay. I'd love to meet the guy.
Laquan Treadwell fit right in at Minnesota. He drops a lot of passes.
Oh, listen. You know what? He dropped a lot of passes, but the Packers didn't catch too many last year either, did they?
Who, the Packers? Well, yeah, Jordy Nelson was out the whole year.
Yeah,
I remember the Vikings caught enough passes to win the division in Green Bay on a primetime game.
Yeah.
Our number one's coming back. You go ahead and sleep on the Packers.
Who's sleeping on the Packers? I mean, you've got Mike McCarthy. That, in the end, will be your killer.
I'm excited because I think we're getting Reggie Ragland.
All right, Who Day Nation, we ready?
Is it in? No, we still got 3 minutes. I'll tell you, and another one I want to bring up real quick.
I wouldn't be shocked to see the Packers trade up to make sure they get Ragland or Jack.
You know what? I hate when you interrupt me like I was getting ready to say something really important. As Matt will tell you, I can't remember it once I've tried to say it and couldn't.
Sorry, Mike.
Oh, all right. There is one corner left in this draft that I think may be the best corner in this draft that nobody even talks about, and that's Artie Burns from the University of Miami of Florida. I just wanted to get that out there.
Oh, second rounder.
Pick is in. There's a running back. There's a running back that will probably be on with me and Matt next week by the name of Kenneth Farrow from the University of Houston. If you've never heard of him, you will. He'll either be drafted late in this draft or he'll go as a free agent and he'll play in the NFL for 5 to 10 years. Look it up on YouTube, anybody out there. Kenneth Farrow from University of Houston. Did you ever watch that film, Matt?
Are you saying Sparrow, like Jack Sparrow?
What'd you say, Matt? Because it sounded to me like I asked you a question and Aaron tried to interrupt again.
Yeah, I did not get a chance to watch it. I will watch it tonight before I go to bed.
That's too late now. All right.
Why is it too late? If
now, did you have something to say, Aaron?
I asked how you were saying that name so I could look it up.
Which name? Oh, Kenneth Farrow.
Are you saying Sparrow like Jack Sparrow?
Like Farrow, like I just spelled it. Farrow. Kenneth Farrow, University of Houston. Watch the 2014 film because he blasts the guy on like the first run he makes there. But watch the whole film. The kid can run between the tackles, unreal. And when you watch the film, he looks like he's 6'2", but he's only like 5'9".
Wow.
But he's very good. Okay, the pick is in.
Yep.
I'd be a lot more worried if this was 1996 or something.
Derrick Henry.
Who said Derrick Henry?
Derrick Henry.
What about him?
He's your pick.
That's who they picked.
Really?
What?
You're lying to me.
You're lying.
Derrick
I
Henry.
haven't said anything yet.
Okay, I got it right here.
I got the NFL Network on my TV. I haven't said anything.
Yeah, mine hasn't either.
I got it on. It's on Twitter. You guys got to go on
It's
Twitter.
on Twitter. Well, if it's on Twitter, it's got to be true.
Unbelievable. We already have Hill and...
No, we don't have Hill. Hill fumbles all the time. So you would be all right with Jeremy Hill running the ball in a big situation again?
Yeah, I was pretty disappointed when he fumbled the ball. I was just like...
But it wasn't surprising since he did it 7 or 8 times last year. And I'm still not believing this yet because it hasn't come up yet. And they're even showing Bengal fans in the background sitting there. Nobody's booing or yelling yet.
Hey, guys.
Yeah.
I just got word that Reggie Ragland with the enlarged aorta, teams are staying away from him.
Ooh.
Yeah, that is. I read that too. I had a feeling that Miles Jackson's either going to Seattle or he's not going to go in the first round. I don't even think Ted Thompson's going to take a flyer on him.
Ted Thompson always takes injury-prone guys. Justin Harrell.
Oh, man.
I think that was his first pick, and I think he learned from that.
Well, he picked guys since then that were hurt a lot. Nick Perry had issues in college. So did Ty Montgomery.
Cincinnati Bengals select William Jackson III.
William Jackson, corner from Houston. I thought Derrick Henry was being picked there.
Yeah.
That was fun for a little while.
I don't know why you would say that, because that was actually a pick I would have liked.
Yeah, actually, I would be all right with that.
You would have been okay with Derrick Henry. You guys were losing your minds.
I didn't lose my mind.
Not you, Alex.
I know. Derrick Henry. All right, the Pittsburgh Steelers are next. I say the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think the Pittsburgh Steelers go Andrew Billings or Kendall Fuller.
Yeah.
Hey, do you got a 920 caller on, Mike?
Oh, I don't know. I'm not even on that thing right now. Hold on. Oh, I sure do. Here we go. I got a 608. Welcome, caller. Who are we talking to?
Hello?
Yeah.
This is Brent. How you doing?
Hey, how you doing,
Hey,
Brent?
Good, good. Coach told me to call
So where
in,
you?
so good listen.
Who told you to call in?
Coach Z.
All right.
This is Brent Haley that plays right guard for my Fox Valley Force football team. Brent, what do you think of the
How
draft
you doing, Brent?
so far?
Good. How you guys doing?
Real good, real good.
So you a Packers fan, Brent?
Huge fan.
All right. So who are you hoping they get now?
Well, I just heard you guys mention that Reggie has an enlarged aorta.
Yeah, that's what Aaron
that's a
just
serious
read off
condition.
Twitter, I would think.
Yeah, that's a serious condition, and I don't necessarily agree with Coach Z comparing Justin Harrell and Ty Montgomery, but I think you can't judge a GM off for one bad pick.
Steelers are in.
Yep.
Artie Burns.
Burns.
Everybody, I always like Pittsburgh takes. Artie Burns is a very good cornerback.
They need corner help real bad, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so that was Artie Burns.
Seattle.
So what's been your biggest surprise tonight here on the draft, Brent?
Biggest surprise. Let's think about that. I would probably say the offensive tackle from Ole Miss that slid down to 13 to the Dolphins.
The Broncos have
what do you think?
traded with Seattle.
What was that?
Yeah.
The Broncos have traded with Seattle.
Huh. What do you think that means,
Yeah.
Matt?
I think that means they want Paxton Lynch.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the problem with that is this. If you traded to Seattle,
Or Miles Jack.
Who do you think that was going to take the quarterback? But if it's Denver, you've got Arizona that could draft a quarterback potentially, and you've got Kansas City possibly.
City.
Yeah.
I think Kansas City. I think they were worried about Kansas City. I think Seattle. There was a lot of talk about Seattle trading out of the first round.
So what do you think, Aaron? What do you think they're going to do?
Well, the fact that Denver traded up here, they may be taking one of the linebackers they think the Packers might have been pegged for.
Yeah, I'm hoping they take Miles Jack just to burst your bubble there.
Guys, I'm going to take 5. I'll be back in 5.
Hey, you can't take 5. We've only got 3 minutes left.
No, we got 3 minutes.
Oh, really? It's 3 minutes?
Yeah, how are you going to take 5
you're right.
with
Never
2
mind.
minutes left, actually? Jeez.
I did not realize that. Okay, never
I'll
mind.
tell you what. You don't have to poop that bad, do you?
If I did, I'd go anyways.
What do you mean while you're sitting there?
Oh, man.
Oh, guys, we only got 2 minutes left, or we got a minute and a half left, so we got to wrap it up. Aaron, you got any final words that you can get in about 15 seconds?
Thanks for having me on, and it's been a pleasure. It was nice talking with Dexter Carter, Barret Robbins, Matt Andruscavage, and yourself. I can't wait to do our show tomorrow on the draft and touch base on Miles Jack coming to the Packers.
All righty. Thanks a lot, Aaron. Matt, you got about 10 seconds.
All right. Well, it was a good time. It was good to talk to everybody, and let's see what happens.
All right, Alex?
Thanks for having me here. I had a lot of fun. I think Paxton will go to Denver. William, welcome to Cincinnati, and that's about it.
All right, Brent, you've got the final word out of everybody there. What are you looking for the Packers to do?
I'd like to see them draft either a linebacker or a defensive lineman.
All right. Hey, thanks for coming on the show tonight.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, guys, remember, check out The Grueling Truth at thegruelingtruth.net. You can listen to us on Spreaker, Stitcher, iTunes, Google Music, Podcast Land, Podcaster, just about everything you can think of. Make sure you check out Mike and Aaron's Sports World tomorrow night, where we'll recap the first round of the draft and touch on what goes on day 2 of the draft. Make sure you check out Gridiron Mo, www.gridironmo.com. I want to thank Barret Robbins and Dexter Carter for being on the show tonight. So for Matt Andruscavage, I'm Mike Goodpaster. You've been listening to The Grueling Truth, where the legends speak.